Today's Sunday session is brought to you thanks to the fine folks at More Beer. Visit them right now at morebeer.com.
I want people to believe in me, and I want people to believe in me when they taste my beer. That's what it's about.
You mean you laid underneath it and tried to
Put his tongue up the bung.
I like to actually scoop up the yeast and look at it.
7 o'clock came real early that next morning.
Yeah, man. Thanks for dumbing that down for us. You did an awesome job. It's all about food and beer.
Punch me in the junk. Man, that thing was thick.
The point is just beat it like it's your dick.
I like to smell it afterwards.
Are you being sarcastic right now?
Bring your body armor.
I ran in my junk once on a ball valve in a kettle.
That's a true happy ending.
Now, live from the Brewing Network studios in Northern California, this is the radio program for home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, and beer geeks. It's your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers together with, well, expert drinkers. This is the radio program with a head on it. This is The Session.
Okay, welcome to the program. My name's Justin Crosley. I'll be your host for tonight and tonight only. And then I'm off doing something else again next week. But JP will be back.
That's right. Warren and I got this locked. Oh, no, Warren's not going to be here either.
Oh, yeah, you got no beardy next week.
Asshole.
Well, you've got Tasty and Doc who are here with us.
That's true, they are. And
Doc also, wow, it's just going to be you and Tasty next week.
And Sully.
And Sully, of course.
Yeah.
And your guest,
But
Sully.
What about the week after? Let's talk about the week after, because that's what I care about.
That's a vacation. That's an off week.
Oh, fuck yeah. And then the week after that, y'all's back, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All y'all's is back.
Then I can deal with it.
Yeah.
I can deal with it.
You can do I hope Tasty's. Otherwise, it's the Sully and JP mixtape.
Yeah, just do a
I'm
mixtape.
okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm all right with that. We haven't done that in a while, but I guarantee you Tasty will be here.
Yeah. Oh, yes, they're talking about his beer collaboration.
Yeah.
Right. So he won't.
Among many, many other topics.
I'm sure lots of artwork discussion.
Yeah, which is really cool, actually. And, Tasty wouldn't miss that show if he were dying, I think.
Oh, there's no way we'll hear the word me and I more than an Obama speech. It'll be great.
That would be the only way for you to get someone to die on air, would be if it happened on a show that
Tasty couldn't miss. If he was already ill,
a released beer,
but he was releasing a beer, then he would come in. They would wheel him in.
Yeah, I'm sure it'd be in his contract. Put the coffin on a dolly.
Yeah,
maybe like a carpet, like a furniture mover.
Yeah.
We would wheel it in here.
Today's program brought to you by More Beer. You can go to morebeer.com and check them out. They bring you this session and every session we do, and they've been doing that for years, as you know. Please go support them. Great people, great company, and I dare say the Brewing Network remains alive because of More Beer. There were plenty of times we couldn't have stayed open without them. So go check them out at More Beer. We do have a light crew today. Tasty's out. He's out viewing the eclipse in another state because I don't know why. I could see it perfectly fine from here.
But not the totality. We got like 78%.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. But I watched it on the NASA feed, and I, to be honest with you, teared up a little bit.
Why?
I don't know. Because I thought it was really cool. Like, this is a really cool thing. I've never seen a totality before, and I would have liked to go in real life, but...
but you couldn't leave the house.
Yeah, that's the one thing I will never give a Tasty shit about, is going to watch the totality.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
If you can do it, man.
I looked out my window while I was driving down to Los Gatos.
Yeah.
In the car. It was still pretty bright.
Yeah.
I looked at it. And
but
it was still
you
bright.
can stare right at it, right?
Yeah.
And you might barely see something.
Yeah, I don't think it really inhibited my driving ability after staring at the sun for a couple
or your
seconds.
vision at all.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I feel fine.
Yeah, I took a quick look at it. The coolest thing I found about it was how the rest of the sky looked, actually. It looked really creepy. It was very apocalyptic.
Yeah.
You know, we had overcast here, but, you know, so which obviously makes things a bit darker anyway, but it wasn't that. It was like a different shade of dark.
Yeah, it was more like a brown hue, kind of. Yeah, out in Oakley, we didn't have clouds, but Taryn works in Concord.
Yeah.
And she was able to, you can just look up and see it. It kind of created a filter.
Yeah.
So you could actually see the thing. I didn't see shit. I tried to make a box, like a viewing box out of an old Heineken box I had, or no, Lagunitas box. And I thought I could see it because you cut a hole, then you can view in, and you cut another hole, and you put tinfoil over it, and you poke a hole in that.
Yeah.
And then you aim that at the sun. And I looked in it, and I saw like this little crescent. I was like, oh, that's pretty dope, dude. And I took a bunch of pictures, and then like a couple minutes later, I looked again, and it hadn't moved. And I was like, huh, that's weird. So a couple minutes later, I looked again, and it hadn't moved, and I just had poked the hole fucking crooked.
So the crescent was just light coming in.
2 hours later, I looked. There's a crescent. I'm like, okay, I clearly did something wrong.
You finally figured out Mrs. Hendricks' trick on all you kids in elementary school.
You know, you should have just looked at it the one time and let it be.
It'd be great.
You'd have gone your whole life feeling like you saw the eclipse.
Yeah.
So Tasty's off doing that. Doc's off being Doc, and unfortunately, Bevo is missing as well. Her mom passed away over the weekend.
Yeah, out of shame, probably.
of her son-in-law. You think?
Of her son-in-law.
So our hearts go out to Bevo.
Yeah.
That's been going on for quite some time with her mom. She was ill, and she's been dealing with that for a good amount of time. And so she's home with the family, as she should be, and wish her well. She'll be back.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Hopefully tomorrow.
It's like it's a dead mom month or weeks or something. My mom passed away a few weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
Bevo's mom. I watch. Not you.
I led the charge. Don't worry about it.
Are you telling me my mom's dead also?
I'm saying these things comes in threes. Call your moms out there, okay? I don't want to hear about your dead mom.
I don't want to hear about my dead mom either.
I definitely don't want to hear about his dead mom.
Yeah.
Who cares about Beardy?
Right. Yeah. Well, Warren doesn't even want to hear about his live mom, so it doesn't really matter.
No.
He's going to come in here sad, and I'm like, nobody cares about your mom, Beardy, okay?
My mom's still alive.
He just starts crying, and I tell him to shut the fuck up.
So you could tell if I was sad or not?
No one can tell any emotion behind that hairy face.
That's true.
Really.
Well, we would just update his programming. boot him up in DOS and just kind of figure it out.
Reboot him. Just throw in a new line of code that deals with depression.
It'll be fine.
Dead mom.
Yeah. It'll be like Westworld. It'll be great.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen Beardy sad, now that I think about it. Or any other emotion.
It's a narrow spectrum of emotion over here.
Okay. Because I think he just tries to analyze the why behind things.
Sure.
Instead of just living in the moment.
Like, well, tomorrow's going to happen. It won't be as great as today.
And it's not that you're a bit like Eeyore.
Yeah, he's an analytical Eeyore.
Yeah.
Where it's not happy or sad. It's just Eeyore.
It just is.
It just is.
I'm here, guys.
Yeah. I like this about you, by the way. So this is maybe the only thing I like about you.
Even keel.
Yeah, I like that. I need that in my life. Somebody that's even keel.
Right.
You and Kate the Great. That's what I have.
It takes two of us.
Good luck with your mothers. We'll see how that goes.
That's right.
For all of you.
Yeah.
They do come in threes, I'm telling you. It's a proven fact.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Nothing comes in fours, that's for sure.
No. It's a proven, it's a thing. So be careful out there. Tell your moms that you love them. Or whatever else you have to tell them. I don't know.
Tell your moms to watch out. That's pretty much what it is.
Do my laundry.
Yeah. Mom, here's this bear protective suit.
Right. Okay, well, a few things to get through. Of course, we want to let you know, speaking of the 21st Amendment, they're having their August Fest celebration. That's this Saturday, August 26th, 12 to 6, noon to 6. It's free admission. The Stone Foxes are playing, and $5 drink tickets. And they've got a tent where they're doing special releases every hour. And then there's several beer stations and food, and it's kid-friendly. There's a bounce house section. It's going to be a good time. So go check it out. That's at the San Leandro Brewery, not the Brooklyn Brewery. It's here in San Leandro. So you're going to want to go check that out. Sully will be there, probably wearing some form of watermelon uniform. That's him and Nico's thing. That's how you find him. And then right after that, actually, our friends at Drake's are having their 28th anniversary party. That'll be the same day, August 26th. That's from 5 to 9 p.m. So 12 to 6 at the 2NA, and then 5 to 9 at Drake's. There's a free shuttle running from BART, so you can get there safe and free. So
those are two things I'd like to be.
Yeah. If I were in town, that's what I would be doing. I would be hitting 2NA and Drake's this weekend, two of my favorite breweries. But I will not be in town. So enjoy yourselves out there.
So we can never prove that statement.
Yeah. All right, you can support the BN not only by supporting our sponsors, which I sure hope you do, and that's a great way to support us, by the way. Plus, you get something out of it. You know, all our sponsors either sell great beer or great homebrewing products, and I don't see a reason why you shouldn't go support them.
That's right.
But you can also do the rest of your shopping through Amazon, and we get a little chunk of that, too. You just click the Amazon link. It's in a couple different places on the website. It's there on the left in orange. It's in the drop-down menu under Community. And you just click it. You can save it in your bookmarks, and then every time you do your normal shopping, don't worry, we don't really know what you're shopping for. Well, we don't know who is shopping for what, I guess, is what we don't know.
We can look as to what you're purchasing, but that's work, and it won't tell us who anyways.
Right, and now that Moscow's not around here much anymore, we've never looked since. So you can carry on buying all the creepiest things you want, and we just get a little percentage of that. And a lot of you do it. I appreciate it very much. You can do that both in the U.S. and the U.K. There's a link for both of you, and do it. It's helpful. It doesn't cost you anything. You can also subscribe and join the BN Army. It enters you into the More Beer monthly donation giveaway, which is a chance to win $100 to spend at More Beer. And for as little as $2 a month, you can do that. And then the more you donate, the more you're entered. And
the more you enter, the more you win.
Yes.
The more chances you win.
That's right.
Sure.
So, plus you get our BN Army email, which goes out every single month. And it has lots of thought-provoking information.
Like, what's the spelling error? Why do we have a comma here instead of a full stop period?
Yeah, Oxford commas are a thing now.
Right.
Yeah.
Full colon versus semi. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh, too soon on the colon.
Oh, semi.
Or dead colon.
Wow, Warren. Wow.
Shut the fuck up, Beardy.
Should we call Bev right now and tell her these jokes? Here's a recap of all the inappropriate things that we said.
Hey, we missed you, and so check out this lineup of jokes.
Yeah, are you sitting down?
Okay. All right, so subscribe and join the BN Army. That's a great way to support us, too. Get updates and other things and funny jokes and pictures and I don't even know what over on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Just search Brewing Network on any of those things. And then, of course, send your feedback to feedback@thebrewingnetwork.com.
Do that.
And we may or may not read it on the air.
Do lots of that, please.
Yeah, we like feedback.
We love feedback.
We really do. So feedback@thebrewingnetwork.com. Okay. Well, how about I save our Twitter game for just a sec? No, we do have a Twitter game, don't we?
Yes, we do.
All right, let me announce it real quick, and then as you're explaining it, I will get our first guest on the phone.
Okay.
We're going to talk to Tom McCormick from the California Craft Brewers Association. He's been on the show before. Good guy. Love talking to him. So we're going to spend 15 minutes with him here in just a second. The Twitter game, though, is brought to you by the American Homebrewers Association. And if you haven't checked out their Brew Guru app, you need to. Just go to the iTunes Store or the Google Play Store. Is there another store? That's it. Right?
That's probably it.
Okay. And then search Brew Guru, and it'll tell you where all of the discounts that you get for free as part of your membership are. And you should be a member. You can do that through our website, too. Just click the AHA link.
Yeah.
Download the Brew Guru app. What's our Twitter game today?
Well, I have two in case one is inappropriate. So we'll go with the inappropriate one. Bevo's mom died this week, so what would you say to cheer her up?
Okay.
And I had a backup one that we can do if it's too early to talk about Bevo's mom.
Well, I would like to hear the backup one anyway.
Okay, the backup one is, Warren's looking pretty fit these days, right?
That's it? It's a question?
Yeah. And then
and that's it.
That's also, look, that's as far as I got. But in my mind, you would respond.
I see.
Me or Twitter?
Not you, Twitter.
Oh. Yeah, nobody... How many times do I have to tell you? Nobody cares
right.
what you have to say.
Maybe if you told me one more time.
Maybe.
I would get it.
Yeah.
But we don't care to get that far.
Right. Nobody does.
Right. So we could go the backup.
No, let's go with the first one. How would you console Bevo?
Yeah, right. Yes, okay.
Can we expand it to that? Like, not just what you would say, but how you would
How would you console
her?
Bevo? Yes. Okay. How would you console her?
Yeah, I like that, because that could be verbal.
Or could be physical. Could be metaphysical. We don't know.
Exactly. All right, BN Creeps. You can go to town on that one.
Or Sugar Valley.
Yeah, exactly.
That's our Twitter.
I would write her a song.
It goes a little something like that.
All right, at this time, I'm going to welcome our first guest of the night, our old friend Tom McCormick from the California Craft Brewers Association. Hey, Tom, welcome to the show.
Thank you. How you doing?
We're doing great. It's nice to have you back on with us.
Yeah, thank you.
I thought you were, it's been a little while since we've seen you, and I thought maybe you'd have moved on and become like a farmer somewhere by now, Tom. But you're not. What have you been up to?
I haven't moved an inch. I'm still sitting in the same seat and wearing the same hat.
I see.
I've been up to. I have a front row seat to the craft brewing industry here in California, and I'm having fun.
Yeah, that's a hard seat to give up, I'm sure.
Yeah.
How can you? Now we're going to talk about the big event, of course, but. What's your take on the lay of the land before we get into that in California craft beer? And I kind of mean, have we oversaturated yet here in California yet? Are we still growing? Is it booming? Can you just give me like a brief overview of California craft beer?
Well, it's still growing. So the market share for craft beer is still growing a lot, and there's still new breweries opening up. And so the big picture for craft beer and full-flavored beers is very strong and very good. At the same time, it is getting competitive out there because we have so many breweries here in California and around the country, and we also have Big Beer with their new strategy philosophy, if you can't beat them, buy them.
Right.
So we have enormous global corporations who have bought into the craft beer industry. So it is getting very competitive, but the good news is that the market share for craft beer continues to grow.
Did you... You've been in this industry for a while. If I remember right, you even started as a distributor. Is that right? In the industry?
Yes, way back in the 80s.
Okay. Was there ever a point in time, before recently, when it became obvious that you thought this is what would start happening with craft beer, that small entrepreneurs would build up businesses to a point where, it would reach a critical mass, and maybe the only next step was to be bought or to merge or any of the things that are happening? Did that cross your mind throughout your career?
Certainly not in the early days, because we never thought, I got into the industry in the early mid-'80s, and so it's grown beyond our wildest dreams, and I think I speak for those of us back then. We had no idea that it would ever become what it has become, but, getting into the 90s and particularly the late 90s when it continued to grow and became a household word, I think a lot of us felt that the industry at some point would mature and begin to go through the steps that it's going through today. So it's not too surprising. It's not really a shock, but to a certain extent, it's kind of a sign of success. I mean, we have really, the craft brewers and the craft brewing industry was born right here in California. We have revolutionized beer culture in the United States and to some extent around the world. So, it's a cool thing.
It is. I agree. And I'm thinking, there's a couple guys I can think of that are now, craft beer billionaires because of this new thing. But I'm thinking that of the craft beer billionaires, there's only one that ever anticipated that could happen, and I think that's Jim Koch. I think Jim at Sam Adams, Boston Beer rather, was probably the only guy, being he was a Harvard business grad. I'm thinking he's the only one who ever thought, I'm going to start this company and I could end up a craft beer billionaire. I don't think anybody else thought about it.
Well, I knew Tony McGee from Lagunitas, Ken Grossman, Jim, or Steve Wagner and Greg Cook from Stone. I could go on, and I can absolutely assure you they never in their wildest dreams ever thought that they would have companies this large.
Right.
So, yeah, you're absolutely right. I completely agree. I mean, it's really just kind of blown their minds.
And good for them in so many ways. There's obviously so many facets of this new trend, but some of these guys I know personally, and obviously you do too. And my first thought always is kind of like, wow, what the American dream, good for you. At least that level of success. Now, one more question just on this topic, and we can move on. Just because I don't know, I'm curious. I know the Brewers Association has one. Does the California Craft Brewers Association have a cap, like a barrel cap, or an ownership percentage cap, where you can no longer belong to the association?
Our definition of voting members is very simple. It's much more simple than the Brewers Association, and it is strictly a production cap, and it has nothing to do with ownership. And that cap is tied to the federal small brewers tax differential, which is 2 million barrels or less per year.
I see.
So just to give you an idea, Sierra Nevada is a little over 1 million barrels. They're our largest members, so that's how we've done it.
So we got some time left before we have to start thinking about these California craft brewers moving past the cap, it sounds like.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Excellent. Now, you guys have your big event, I believe, in its third year coming up, right?
It is, yeah, third year.
Okay. Tell us about the event. Of course, I went the first year, and I have been unable to make it back since, but boy, did I love it. Tell us all about it.
Well, and it's matured and gotten, I think, even better. It's the California Craft Beer Summit, which takes place in Sacramento, right downtown, right across from the state capitol, and it takes place on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, September 7th, 8th, and 9th. And it's just kind of an extravaganza, all things craft beer. It's not just a beer festival. It's we call it the Expo and Festival because it's a hands-on kind of experiential event. We have a trade show at the Sacramento Convention Center for 2 days, Thursday and Friday. We have over 100 exhibitors. We have chefs from all over California doing food and beer pairings. We have speakers on the expo floor. We also have educational seminars going on upstairs in a classroom style. And it's open to the public. It's an event that anyone who has any interest in craft beer, I think, would really, really enjoy. There's, of course, beer from all over the state to try and to sample. And most of those beers are unavailable in local markets because the brewers who are coming from all over the state are kind of bringing their special beers that you wouldn't normally see on the grocery store shelves. And the whole event concludes on Saturday with the biggest beer festival in the state. We have 160-plus breweries outside on Capitol Mall, right in front of the state capitol, serving almost 500 different beers. So it's a 3-day event and open to the public, and it's really fun.
It is fun. Now, the ending event, the beer festival itself, really is amazing. When I first heard of it and went the first year, I thought, wow, hundreds of breweries. I think it was probably about 160 then, too. I just remember thinking, well, that's just ridiculous. How is this going to be possible?
Right.
You know what? It ended up being one of the coolest festivals I've ever been to. Partly because of its location, right there on the Capitol Mall. So it just really easy access and a nice walk just up and down the Capitol Mall, which obviously you need some space to fit 160 breweries in. And then, because it's spread out like that, it was just not crowded. You're not pushing your way through everything. And then, as Tom said, like 500 beers you just had trouble figuring out what was the old
right.
And if that's your only problem for the day, you're doing great.
It's the only problem at that point.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe a couple hours later, you have a different one. But I've heard nothing but good things about this festival.
Yeah. So that part's really good. And then, Tom, the conference part, which you say is kind of like an expo, I kind of likened it to me, it was a cross between the Craft Brewers Conference that the Brewers Association puts on, which is very large, and there are different tracks that you have to go on to see the different panels. Kind of a cross between that and actually the Homebrewers Association event, which I absolutely love, the National Homebrewers Conference, because it had that intimate feel of the National Homebrewers Conference, and you guys had focused so much on education, like the National Homebrewers Conference does too, of not just expert brewers, but of amateur brewers. And that's the part that I found really enjoyable about it. It just felt on the level of a craft brewers conference, so some professional education, but the intimacy of the homebrewers.
Well, thank you, because that's exactly what we tried to do.
Oh, good.
And, we really wanted to have something where the public and where retailers and hospitality workers and wholesale, everyone who's in the industry, and home brewers, beer enthusiasts, anyone who just enjoys drinking craft beer would come and learn something and have a good time. And they're all kind of mingling among each other and mingling among all the brewers. We have about 400 brewers come from around the state.
Wow.
So it's just kind of a gathering of the tribe. We tried to make it a real open type atmosphere. You probably noticed, it's the trade show is not just rows of exhibitors. It's more of an open feeling with hop vines, and you can put your hands in malted barley and taste beer and smell beer. And so we just, we tried to do something different, and we wanted to have a intimate feel so that people felt comfortable.
And I think you pulled that off. And also, as you mentioned, with all the brewers there, because it's such an open and kind of laid-back feel, I found, and also because there's just so many amazing brewers in California, I just found myself at any given moment standing next to a who's who of my favorite breweries. The brewers just standing right there having a beer like I was. So there wasn't this sort of separation,
Yep, and that's again what we tried to do. We've and our members, of course, it's a fundraiser for the CCBA, and we help them in protecting their business and protecting the industry. So, but they've just been great, very, very supportive. So it's some of the breweries bring 5, 10, 15 people, but a lot of the owners and the principals come as well. So, Ken Grossman and Steve Wagner and David Walker, and, again, I could go on and on, but, most of the owners and principals come as well.
Got it. The only problem I have with that list is that David Walker thinks he's the most handsome person in brewing, and clearly it's me. But
you're not in brewing.
I'm in it enough.
You're around brewing.
You're in the beer industry.
I see. So I'm allowed to separate? We can both have a trophy?
Yes, you can. Yes.
Okay.
Hey, it's 2017. You're a millennial, goddammit.
Everybody wins.
Everybody wins. And if you can't win, we'll figure out how to make you win.
You have the best face for radio.
Thank you,
in podcasting about beer.
Yeah.
History.
Well, you got panels such as Ask the Brewmaster and How to Start a Brewery. There's a whole list, of course, that you can go research yourself, and you're going to want to do that at CaliforniaCraftBeer.com, and then you'll be able to click on the Craft Beer Summit, or just Google California Craft Beer Summit. You'll go straight to it. And you can look at the different exhibits that they have and the different courses or seminars that you can take. I remember the ones I went to also. I remember how forthcoming the speakers were. I sat in on one. In fact, I think I have a recording of it for you guys. Where it was Three Weavers Brewing Company founder, and she
Alex.
gave no, it wasn't Alex, the founder of the company.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And she gave almost her entire balance sheet of how she started the brewery.
Oh,
I mean, she showed you all the different expenses. She was such an open book, and she gave out the spreadsheet afterward, like you could go download it. For those in brewery planning to get a real look at what it might cost you.
Yeah.
And it sounds like that's the kind of thing that you guys are really looking to provide.
Yeah. I remember.
Yep, we have.
Oh, sorry. Go
we
ahead.
have more of that. We have more of that this year as well, and I remember that seminar because I sat in it as well. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, she was great, and I bring that up because I have sat in on a lot of seminars, and I sometimes just find them to be a little too generic. And some of that is just by the nature of things. Some speakers don't want to give away everything, or maybe there's just not enough time. But I found the level of detail in all the seminars I went to there to be so much better.
Yeah, I remember I sat on one that was Tony McGee. He was talking about Lagunitas and the acquisition. It was just after Heineken acquired the first half of Lagunitas, and he was kind of just. Almost like at least the second half of the seminar was almost like a question and answer time.
Yeah.
And people were asking genuinely tough questions, and it was just real interesting to see the candor and just like back and forth.
Yeah.
That was there. And
yeah.
So that's definitely different than you would get at the Craft Brewers Conference.
Sure. And that, again, is just no slight on that, but just by nature of the size of things, I think, too.
Sure. Right.
The National Craft Brewers Conference has grown so big. Well, like I said, you can search California Craft Beer Summit, and I'll take you straight there, or go to CaliforniaCraftBeer.com. Tickets are still available, and can you buy them separate, Tom? You can go to the conference and or go to the festival at the end?
Yep, you can buy single-day tickets for each of the 3 days. You can buy a ticket for all 3 days. You can buy a VIP pass. So, yeah, there's different ticket combinations.
Okay. Excellent. And we are going to be giving away, a pair of tickets, JP?
A pair of tickets to the festival.
To the festival itself?
Yes, sir.
All right. So we're going to give away a pair of tickets. We're actually going to do it next week. And because we're a national show, it gets a little tricky. We want to make sure we can give those tickets away to people who can actually attend. So what we're going to do is post up on our social media pages, as well as in the link to this show, an actual
some sort of form.
Like a form that you can fill out that you are available to go, you're within the proximity, you can make it, and then we're going to do a drawing next week. So the good news about that is it will pare down the amount of winners from our entire nationwide audience to just those either in California or that are willing and available to make the trip. So it's up to you, listeners, if you want this chance to win. We're going to put the link up on our homepage on this show post, as well as on our social media, Facebook and Twitter, so that you can click it and you can register to win. And next week we'll give a pair of tickets out to the Beer Fest.
That's right.
Yeah. So thanks for that, Tom. We like giving away tickets.
Yeah. Great. Cool.
All right. Well, look, Tom, if you ever need anything from us, I don't know what it would be because you're much smarter than we are.
A cigarette or a pack of gum or something.
Yeah, you let us know. We got you.
I'll think of something.
Okay. I wish you guys a successful event. I'm sorry I will not be able to make it myself again this year, but I will get back there. But all the success, and thanks for putting on this great event in California.
Well, we'll miss you, and thanks for having me on the show. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I hope we talk to you soon, Tom. Take care.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
All right. Tom McCormick from the California Craft Brewers Association. I am not blowing smoke up your ass. He really is. He's a sweet man. He's a nice guy and willing to give out information and advice to any California brewer, by the way. If you're in California and you're not part of that association, you're missing out. But even for me, the first time he was on the show here, he was very kind when we talked before and after the show. even recommended among the competitive market that the Brewing Network, of all people, could probably be a successful brewery because we have a story and a brand.
Right.
And he felt that in today's market, you really needed something to stand out. Mm-hmm. And he felt that having a story, and our story in particular, would do that. And it just was a good piece of advice for all of you, that if you don't have something that makes you stand out, or you don't have a particular story or a cool-ass logo like we do,
right?
You might think twice about opening a distributor instead.
Or just lie.
Yeah.
So when's the Brewing Network Brewing Company opening?
Whenever the next person wants to hand over $1 million to the Brewing Network.
So we can go and try and triple that to actually get money enough to do it.
Exactly, yeah. That's a good down payment.
I mean, I'm sure you guys want to go open a nano brewery down the street and struggle through that fucking
Who doesn't,
mess,
man?
Right?
Yeah, no thanks.
Out the gate, I want 10,000 barrels a year, dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big nano brewery.
Yeah.
That's a really... Yeah. That's large.
You want it. You're not going to make it.
Right.
You just want it.
Right.
Okay.
That's what I would want for us.
It's good to have goals.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Warren.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we've got our guest tonight, Figueroa Mountain Brewing Company, on the program with us.
Is that how you pronounce it?
I guess. How do you say it?
How did you say it?
Figueroa?
Figueroa. You put a little I don't know, a little flair on there that I enjoyed. Figueroa, but
it's the fig part.
I don't know.
Figueroa. Figueroa.
I think you were throwing the U in, and I liked it. It was very you had some flair.
Figueroa.
Figueroa Mountain.
Well, we'll figure out what they call it, and then I'll just keep doing it my way anyway.
Right.
Yeah. As always.
The mountain folk.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to talk to them when we come back, and a lot of German beer styles to taste and talk about. So hang in there. It's The Session, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Are you a member of the White Labs Customer Club? If not, you should be. It's the easiest way to earn free stuff for turning in your old homebrew labels from either Vials or Pure Pitch. All you have to do is save your labels and redeem them for things like free yeast, an exclusive White Labs t-shirt or sweatshirt, and even the opportunity to brew with the yeast man himself, Chris White. Signing up is easy. Just go to whitelabs.com/customer club, fill out the registration form, and then mail in your labels. They will return the favor by sending you awesome White Labs swag. Go sign up today at whitelabs.com/customer club. White Labs, pure yeast and fermentation since 1995.
The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
Do you like beer? They make beer.
Watch out!
Do you like friends and fun? They make friends and fun.
Watch out!
Do you still like to have a good time? The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
The 21st Amendment in San Francisco, located at 563 2nd Street, 2 blocks from the building where baseball is seen and played. Try their beers in the pub or try them in the can, featuring
Monk's Blood.
Made with real monk.
Watch out!
So why not have the best time of your life? Go to the 21A and Sean O'Sullivan will personally greet you with a can of
Monk's Blood.
The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
This advertisement is not in any way affiliated nor associated with the 21st Amendment Bar and Pub, nor its subsidiaries or affiliates. This telecast is not copywritten by the 21st Amendment for the private use of the Brewing Network. Any use of this telecast without Jamil Zainashev's consent is prohibited. Suck it, JP.
Brewing great beer is a process of continuous learning, and the best books on every aspect of brewing can be found at Brewers Publications, with more than 50 awesome titles like Modern Homebrew Recipes by Gordon Strong, Designing Great Beers, the Ultimate Guide to Brewing Classic Beer Styles by Ray Daniels, American Sour Beers, Innovative Techniques for Mixed Fermentations by Michael Tonsmeyer, For the Love of Hops, the Practical Guide to Aroma, Bitterness, and the Color Culture of Hops by Stan Hieronymus, and Radical Brewing, Recipes, Tales, and World-Altering Meditations in a Glass by Randy Mosher, plus many, many more. These are the books and the authors with the knowledge to push your brewing farther than you thought possible. And you'll find them all at fine homebrew and book retailers everywhere. And visit the website at brewerspublications.com. Brewers Publications, all the best on beer and brewing.
Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making.
Marin Brewing Company in Northern California has been making award-winning beers for more than 25 freaking years. Today, I want to tell you about their new 12-ounce cans of Mount Tam Pale Ale. The good stuff. Mount Tam is bright gold, 5.5% ABV to keep you feeling good, and has been winning awards since 1989. If you're visiting the Bay Area, get your butt out to Marin Brewing Company. They pour tasty beers and serve great food every day until midnight. Come in for a tour, stay for the food, and pick up a 6-pack of cans of Mount Tam Pale Ale to enjoy at home, camping, biking, or whatever the hell you do. Owner Brendan Moylan has this to say about Marin Brewing beers.
It's freaking awesome.
Marin Brewing has won more than 100 gold medals in international competitions. Check out marinbrewing.com for all their award-winning beers, food, and merch. Marin Brewing Company in Larkspur, California. Award-winning taste, refreshing finish. It's freaking awesome.
This is Corey King from Side Project Brewing, and you're listening to The Session on the Brewing Network.
All right, welcome back to the program. Thanks for sticking with us. We've got our guest in the studio, Figueroa Mountain Brewing Company. We're going to speak with them in just a second. But I wanted to remind you about our friends over at Great Fermentations. They've got the largest catalog of Blickman products on the web, and their staff is some of the best trained in the business using Blickman products. They offer top-notch customer service and same-day shipping on so many items. You can go check them out at greatfermentations.com, and be sure to like them on Facebook, GR8 Fermentation, Great Fermentation, and find them on Instagram and Twitter as well under the same name. Go to greatfermentations.com and thank them for supporting the Brewing Network, because we're not alive without our great sponsors. All right, in the studio with us today, we've got... we were just having a debate before the break about whether or not I'm pronouncing it right. I say Figueroa Mountain Brewing Company. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I got to turn all you guys off. I just wanted to get my point across before I turned your microphone off.
I think that's the Italian in you coming out.
Figueroa Mountain. How do you guys say it?
It is Figueroa Mountain Brewing Company.
You just like Fig.
Yes.
You just go Figueroa.
We say
I like
Fig.
my way.
I like your way because I think that's like the most, like, I don't know.
It's as fancy as I get.
It's as American as Figueroa. It's fine.
Figueroa.
Right.
Figueroa.
Keep it simple. Yeah. Well, I'm going to keep saying it my way. I don't care.
You know, you can say it as long as you appreciate it.
Yeah. That's fair. Now, I was trying to... Usually I list a location of Figueroa Mountain Brewing Company from, but you guys have several locations. 4?
We certainly have several locations. So what I would say is that we have 6 locations. But we have 4 brewing locations. And the original location, that all began in Buellton, California.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's in Santa Barbara County. So we tend to say we're from Santa Barbara County. That's where we began.
Right.
But yeah, 6 locations, a little hard to keep up sometimes.
Yeah, I bet. And I didn't know which was the original, so thank you for clarifying that.
Of course.
And you are listening to Kevin Ashford, who is the creative director. Is that the official?
Right.
Okay.
So I've gone through many different kind of changes as far as what my role is with Figueroa Mountain. When I first began, I was a shift brewer. I came from Baltimore, Maryland. I came over to brew beer with Fig. It was ultimately, I was looking for the most competitive place to brew. And
really? What do you mean by competitive place to brew?
California. I think
I see. Okay.
It was either I was going to be brewing in Colorado at the time. It was still extremely competitive, a lot of great breweries.
Yeah.
Or it was California.
Okay.
And when I was between the two, it was either let's go to this startup Figueroa Mountain Brewing Company, or let's go to an extremely established company in Boulder, Colorado.
Okay.
And I chose Fig as a startup. That was in 2012.
Got it. And you were looking for that sort of competitive environment for the experience?
Certainly for the experience. I think if we're not trying to produce the best beer we can at all times, what's the point of brewing beer?
Yeah.
So I saw a great opportunity with this company, Figueroa Mountain, to produce the greatest possible beers we could.
I wish we took that same stance about radio, but we actually feel like if we just kind of show up and sort of have a mediocre experience, that we're on top.
It's still a great experience.
Well, because there's really zero competition, so it's kind of the perfect field for this group of people.
Well, and there's no there's no reports that come out at the end of the year that say what the numbers are for all. It's not like sales in a brewery, right?
No. It's very much like Las Vegas, where we can claim number one podcast from 3 to 4 on Wednesdays.
Right.
It's easy for us to say that.
So we are the best.
We're the best.
Oh yeah, great.
We're just the only.
Well, you don't have to say that part.
It feels the best.
Doesn't it feel good? See, that is what we do. We make it feel good.
Radio that feels the best.
Yeah.
Radio should feel the best.
We feel the best.
That's our new slogan, JP. Radio that feels the best. And then with Kevin today, you've got one of your brewers with you as well, right? Who's this?
I'm Andre Espinoza.
Hang on, let me get you going.
God, Jay.
No, he's going. He's just quiet or something.
He's whispering.
Quiet. My name's Andre Espinoza.
No,
I can't hear him.
His microphone's broken. Let me see that thing.
This is Andre Espinoza.
Espinoza.
Yeah, nothing.
He's rough on it.
Wait for it.
Oh.
Let's try that one.
I'm back.
Hey!
That was perfect timing after the explanation I just gave of
how good we are.
Yeah, that's how perfect we are here.
We're just how to pronounce anything Spanish.
Again, that felt like the best.
That was the best
fix you could have done.
Yeah.
Wait, let's try Kevin's again, too, because I just messed that one up.
Check.
There we
go.
go. All right, wow.
Is it throwing you off because the first one's out?
Yes.
Right, yeah.
Because I can barely count as it is.
Right.
And then when you take a number out, forget it.
It's almost time for a vacation.
You've earned it.
Perfect.
You've earned it.
After the show, vacation begins. Yeah. Introduce yourself once more, please.
My name's Andre Espinoza.
There we go. See, he's got an accent on the name.
Well, yeah, but there is one on
I
his
bet
name.
he says
I'm
With what company?
I'm sure there's an
With
accent
Figueroa Mountain Company.
Figueroa.
And you're head brewer at one of the locations?
One of the shift brewers at Builton. I also help manage our cast program there.
Excellent.
Oh, just a shift brewer? Just kidding, man.
This guy's got a great story.
You've been with the company for a while, though.
Yeah, since about 2013.
Okay.
Started there when I was 20 years old.
Wow.
Got a job boiling hot dogs in Santa Barbara at our Santa Barbara tap room location.
Nice.
I was there for about 6-8 months. Turned 21.
Okay.
Got my foot in the door. Started bussing, bar backing, bartending.
Right.
Kevin took me under his wing about a couple years later.
Okay.
Started kegging out with him, doing some cellar work in the Santa Barbara location, and then just about last June was blessed with the opportunity to start working as a brewer up in Builton.
Nice.
Dope.
I did not know that boiling hot dogs was an entry-level brewery position.
I mean, you got to start
You got to
somewhere.
boil.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a boil
somewhere.
process.
Good point. That's a great start.
The understanding of the boil.
Time and temperature.
Exactly.
But you don't want to mash the hot dogs.
No. Not too much.
No.
You know? Tenderize. fries. But,
but not mashed.
Not mashing them.
But water quality is very important with hot dogs as well.
Good point. I wish Bevo was here today. She cares about her hot dog water.
She sure does.
Yeah. Now, did you know when you started that you wanted to be a brewer, or you just went for a job and then got into brewing?
I was very interested. My background is cooking and culinary. I went to culinary school in Santa Barbara as well.
Okay.
So just my palate has always been drawn to, sweet, bitter, savory, the whole mark. So
excellent.
So you went to culinary school, and then out of school, you got a job boiling hot dogs.
Exactly.
Did you feel very underwhelmed with your looking at your college loan and be like, what the fuck?
I mean, I think I was in the same boat as everyone else who gets a college loan and a degree.
This is not far off.
Part of the course.
Yeah. I was a bartender after my college degree. Basically,
it's true. But and at least you were cooking.
Yes,
with your degree, so that's good.
That's right.
Yeah, boiling,
reheating.
Kevin, does he have a good palate?
Excellent palate.
Because start from a chef background, that's a great start.
Absolutely, it's a guy that I put a lot of faith in and have trusted for a very long time.
Okay.
We bounce a lot of things off each other in that sense. So I know Dre's got an excellent palate, and I certainly use him as a resource in that way.
Okay. And you've been with the brewery for how long, Kevin?
So I came on late 2012.
And the brewery opened in what, 2010?
2010.
Yeah. Okay.
So I would love to say I've been there since the beginning, but there was a beginning before I began.
Got it. You were almost there.
That's right.
Okay.
You've been with him since your beginning, and that's that's the best.
Well, I began somewhere else, but
where do you want to tell us where else you brewed?
So I brewed in Baltimore, Maryland. That's where I'm from. Go O's! Hopefully they're winning. I don't know. They're playing you guys right now.
Oh. They're probably winning. I think you're in good shape.
I couldn't say. It was tied up. But I worked for a great company called Heavy Seas Beer out in Baltimore. I was there for about just over 4 years.
I've had their beer.
Excellent company to work for. I learned a ton about how to produce the best quality beers we could. At the time, we started at about 14,000 barrels, worked all the way up to about 50,000 barrels upon my departure.
Wow.
It was a great learning experience, tons of growth at that time. We were in about 19 states. Learned a hell of a lot about what it takes to brew beer.
That's perfect for a small startup like, at least at the time you started, Figueroa.
That's right.
Did they teach you to brew out there, or had you gone to brewing school? Or
I did not go to brewing school. I actually went to school for politics. So, and unfortunately, I wasn't getting right out there working on Capitol Hill or anything right after graduating. But, I went right into what most would want to do is drink beer. So
sure.
Yeah.
So you went to college for politics, you were drinking a lot of beer, and then decided, I guess this degree is okay, but I really like beer.
Well, much like you, I kind of fell back on bartending, like you were saying.
Yeah.
So right out of school, this was a terrible period of economics for America recently, coming out, trying to get a job right then and there. An opportunity to present itself to fall back into bartending like I was doing. I did that. One of my regulars was a great brewer at this location.
Okay.
Got a job through him. It was fantastic.
So you never ended up working in politics at all?
Actually, I did.
You did?
I did for about 3 weeks.
Okay.
And very, very long tenure. Yeah.
Was it awful and you left, or it just didn't work out?
It wasn't that it was awful. It's just that I felt it wasn't for me.
Okay.
It was working on a certain committee on the House of Appropriations. And you guys are nodding,
we've heard these terms before.
I've heard
That's why we're nodding. Yeah.
That's where you work.
House?
Yeah, politics.
Right. Sure,
CNN.
politics. Excellent. Yeah, sure. News Nightly.
Right out of college. Yep. Yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm. So ultimately,
appropriation.
Drinking was easier. And
yeah.
No, it was more interesting. I think my fascination with beer lies in the fact that I'm fascinated by people, and I think that beer ultimately has this amazing way of bringing people together, one way or another. So that's kind of where
certainly a lot more. Than politics. So.
People kind of go away from each other in politics. It's kind of the opposite. I figured out.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Well, I want to learn more about the company, but we've got a beer in our glass. We might as well talk about that a little bit while we're at it. So we've got an American lager in our glass. What is this?
That's right. So this is actually a deviant of... We're looking at... Yeah, I had to readjust there. I'm sorry.
That's okay. You're all right.
These chairs are comfortable, but you just got to find your spot.
Yeah.
So this is our Mountain Light Lager. Basically, we call it a light beer in terms of a craft kind of experience, but... it's an American lager. I mean, it is an adjunct lager. It's only 4.5%. we live on a beach. You know, we want to have a, whatever you call it, that lake beer, that crusher, that whatever, keep it ice cold kind of beer. The mountains do not turn colors, you know, on our can, but we do appreciate a nice light beer when it's produced properly. And this is kind of our endeavor into that fold.
What is the adjunct? Corn?
This is rice.
It is rice.
Yeah. Yes, this is rice.
No corn at all in the beer?
No corn.
Okay. Why'd you guys choose rice instead of corn?
You know, I thought the color is very light. We wanted to... I've experimented with both corn and rice. Corn, in my opinion, adds just a hair bit more texture.
Okay.
And I really wanted this to just be extremely light, extremely crisp, ultimately crystal clear, and something you can enjoy when it's hot out.
Do you use flaked corn?
I don't use corn at all.
No corn.
Rice. Yeah, rice.
Farts.
I heard rice. I said corn.
That happens.
Yeah.
Brain damage.
Flaked rice?
Yeah, it is flaked rice. That's right.
Do you do any special mashing for it, or just throw it right in?
Honestly, this is a single infusion mash, which we're actually pretty surprised that, you know, that we're able to produce a beer of this quality and this caliber using a single infusion.
Talk to me about that just for a sec, because I know that you are into German styles of beer.
Sure.
So tradition would tell you that you have to do multi-step mashes.
That's right. So that's a great question. Honestly, at Heavy Seas in Baltimore, I was doing all kinds of step mashing, decoctions, the whole 9 yards.
Okay.
And when I first came on at Fig Mountain, it was like, okay, well, what's our step regimen? You know, what's this? How do we produce a beer to this standard at this level?
Yeah.
And you know, that was, we were limited by equipment. We can do simple single decoctions. We can do 1 to 2 step mashes. But, you know, I found out that, you know, just after all of my due diligence and reading and taking a look at what we have with our equipment at this point, we're able to make some pretty fantastic German-style lagers just doing single infusion mashes with the grains that were available today.
Okay. And then I hope you don't mind me asking this question. I'm curious if you know if the big breweries, who obviously use rice as an adjunct, do they do single infusion or multi-step?
So what I would say is at their stage and the how big they are, they're likely using a cereal cooker.
Okay.
So they're likely taking a less modified product.
Oh.
And they're actually converting that starch process themselves.
I see.
Yeah.
Which would require multi-steps to do so. And you think that's just a cost thing?
I think it's a cost thing.
Yeah.
That cereal cooker itself, they can essentially take, you know, a less modified product, and they can modify it themselves. But a cereal cooker, you have to be at extreme high temperatures, and that's just unlikely for the majority of us craft brewers. So.
Sure. Okay.
At what stage do you add the corn?
Okay, Beardy.
Good question, Jay. That's an excellent question. Are we cooking, or because I might revert that to Dre?
Right. How about the hops in this beer?
The hops are, you know, fairly minimal. I think our approach here is to create a very, very drinkable, you know, beach lake beer. It's all traditional German varietals, but in a very light-handed approach.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And then, just to back up to the malt again, what percentage is adjunct, and then I assume just some Pilsner malt?
That's right.
Yeah.
We're extremely high-quality Pilsner malt, Wireman, whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Good friends of ours.
Nice.
We love them.
Good malt.
Great malt. But then just under 10%.
Is rice.
Yes.
Okay. Just under 10%. And the rest is, wow, so it is almost an all-malt beer.
We're talking like high-quality ingredients.
Then what's the point of the almost 10% rice at that point?
Bringing the color, and there is a flavor profile associated with it that, you know, I think fits into this category of American-style lager.
So if you gave me the same beer that was 100% Wireman Pilsner, everything else exactly the same, and this beer, you think I'd taste a difference?
You'd see a difference in the color,
okay,
most assuredly, and I think you would taste it. I think it's a little drier.
Okay.
Is this the regular Wireman Pils, or is this the extra hell?
This is not the extra premium.
Oh, okay.
This is Wireman Pils.
Nice.
Yep. But I do love that grain. Shout out, whoop whoop.
So I like this beer. I think you achieved your goal. It is dry. It's easy drinking. I could sit on the beach in Santa Barbara and drink this.
Thank you.
I wouldn't do anything else on a beach anyway.
It's hard to do anything else on the beach.
Right. I mean, you guys probably all surf down there and all that.
A lot of surfing. You know, we honestly, and a lot of drinking. I should not say it's all surfing down there.
It's a college town too, right?
It is.
So
a lot of surfing, a lot of drinking, a lot of looking around.
Now, be honest with me about this.
Of course.
Did you make this beer style because it fit a market need of maybe people who weren't drinking craft, or because you really like an American lager like this?
Honestly, back to the part about beer that is about bringing people together. That's what I have friends that still. I'm 30 years old. I got great friends of mine that we're in college together. They're still not on board, drinking that great craft beer.
Yeah.
But being able to bridge that gap and create, just creating a beer, whether it's so hard to create a beer to introduce to people and say, hey, this is the beer that you want. And this is the beer, it's that gateway beer, And
of course, there's no wrong answer here. I'm just always curious about the method behind it. And I think you're right. And and by the way, there's nothing. First of all, it's a good beer anyway, so it doesn't matter. But second of all, to bridge that gap and say to people, all right, well, this is a style you like.
Sure.
I'm going to give it to you.
That's right.
Why wouldn't you give people what they want?
It's also something I like. So at the end of that other question, I appreciate beers like this. I truly do. And it's something that I would order.
Is it harder to brew?
It is. It's very technical.
Okay.
And I would agree there. There's nowhere to hide. I think this beer has very few ingredients. And water profile is key. Temperatures are key.
Sure.
Across the board.
Have you thought about flash pasteurizing for authenticity?
It's kind of hard when you don't own one.
Yeah.
But I appreciate your candor. We do not own a flash pasteurizer, but the shelf life maybe it's a month longer. Never know. But
this is really good, though.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is well done. So you mentioned water is something you really have to pay attention to.
Certainly.
What are some things you had to do to your water down there?
So for the most part, we run off reverse osmosis.
Okay.
So we like to doctor our water profiles up, depending upon the style we're given. For a style like this, we tend to revert back to a very simple water profile. So fairly simple overall. No, not a whole lot of additives whatsoever as far as the salt side.
But you can't just use reverse osmosis. You have to put something in there.
We certainly are. Very small calcium chloride.
Okay.
Overall,
and that's about
for
it.
a style like this. Yeah.
Is the water down there difficult to brew with if you didn't clean it?
Yes.
Really?
We've been if you guys have ever seen one of those drought schematics of the state.
Oh, right. You guys are in the thick of it.
We are literally red all the time.
Okay.
I think it just turned to orange red, which I didn't know its color until I looked at Beardy today, and now I see. Now I see colors.
It's not this orange,
not
right?
the beard color. The underneath
the skin tone. I think.
Don't take that.
Oh, that's I did get sunburned this weekend. That's what you're saying.
This weekend.
It's orange to red. Yeah. It's a shift.
It's like a burnt salamander.
Yeah.
I think you got sunburned when we turned the lights on tonight.
Yeah.
By the way,
this is a lot of
lights
light
are a little bright in here.
Well, now he's blushing, so now he's just pink.
Well, you can't see my blood any other time.
There was a fucking solar eclipse today, and Beardy got sunburned.
I forgot sunscreen. I figured the sun was only going to be at 25%.
Yeah.
Dre's putting his glasses on right now.
Beardy's skin is burning me right now.
Careful of your retinas.
You've got your solar eclipse glasses.
I do. They are ISO certified.
Are you sure they're authentic? Because
I mean, I can't see shit, so probably.
Okay. Did you watch the eclipse today with them?
For a moment.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're in San Francisco looking at a cloudy sky, kind of hard to see it, but
it's hard to give a shit. And you're like, oh.
Yeah.
We were drinking Irish coffees at Buena Vista trying to find it.
There you go.
That's not a bad way to spend the eclipse.
Pretty hard to find it.
Now, did you start brewing on something difficult like an American lager like this and have to go through a lot of steps to make sure it was right? Or would they give you something more like here's our Imperial Pale Ale because maybe you can screw up a couple things?
I mean, no, I got thrown into it. To be honest, I want to say the first beer that I brewed on my own was Lizard's Mouth.
Okay.
Which is big Imperial IPA.
All right. I think we're going to taste that later tonight.
Yes, we will.
Okay.
But as far as the lager game, it's definitely been thrown at me. It was nice that, like I said, I was thrown under Kevin's wing. So he definitely taught me finesse and how important temperature control is and just the fine details when coming to lagers.
And what's the system like? Is it very automated so that temperature control isn't that difficult? No. So you got to adjust
Manual.
those valves.
Yeah.
And,
Very, very manual.
Okay.
Hands on.
So that's the really tricky part because a brew can, especially in terms of temperatures, that can get away from you quickly.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Within minutes, you walk away to go do something else, and you come back and.
How many batches did you fuck up?
I haven't fucked up a batch.
Okay.
There's definitely points where I'm like, I could have kept it a little more consistent, but we'll see how it goes. But no,
That's fair.
knock on wood wherever it's at.
Yes, this Formica. What is this?
Yeah. Knock on something artificial.
Exactly.
Now, and I want to move on because we got a lot of beers to do, but just we should talk about the lagering process too.
Absolutely.
A lot of times brewers are coming in now and doing. I'm going to put words in JP's mouth, like what might be called like a fake lager, right? Where you maybe you speed up the process.
A crafty lager.
Female
different.
type.
With a Y.
Or is this a long traditional German lager?
Our approach is being traditional. Like we source the highest quality ingredients from regions where they're produced. So that's number one. Is finding the highest quality ingredients. The know-how is just kind of a skill set that myself and one of our other head brewers, David Traley, shout out, whoop whoop, to him, that we've kind of developed over the course of time. And our approach is giving the beer the time it deserves. So whether that is...
Thank you.
Yeah, really.
Are you redder?
Yeah. I told you.
But now that's a happiness red.
Oh, right. I've got a red beer. Well,
these lights are actually sunburning me just a bit.
He's like an X-Man where his emotion is like a mood ring X-Man.
What does red mean anger or does red mean satisfied?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Yeah.
Yes, the answer is yes.
We usually have cards that we hand out to the guests so they know if they should approach him or not, depending on the color of. It's like an SRM.
But our producer's out tonight, and you guys are just on your own.
Oh, good.
So,
okay, that's
sorry.
fine. No, I'm reading the beardy well, I think. No, again, our approach is absolutely committed to the best quality lagers we can produce. So that if that beer is going over 35, 40 days, that's what we're doing, and that's exactly what we're doing. We're giving the time to the beer that it deserves. We want to create the greatest lagers that we can.
Thank you. Really, thank you.
Yeah.
Not Warren, but to echo Warren's sentiment, because you get a lot. Because all three of us love lagers, and when you go out, then you find a Vienna lager or a Helles or whatever that's just estery and funky, and you're like, this isn't what it should be.
Yeah.
If I want a Helles, and a lot of people will make the argument, well, most beer drinkers won't know the difference. That doesn't make it a good reason to do it. You're supposed to be educating as well as making a good product.
You're not stacking the deck.
What craft brewer got into this industry to cut corners like that?
Right.
I mean, besides me.
Right.
Oh, you're in the beer industry? I thought we went over this earlier.
I'll cut corners to drink a beer. I won't cut corners to make beer.
Yeah, to me, it makes no fucking sense at all. To call something a lager and have it be in the tank for 2 weeks. It makes no sense to me.
You would, if you did that to this beer, you would have a cream ale.
That's right.
And any warm lagering technique would make this a cream ale, not an American lager.
Not a great beer.
Yeah.
Unless you call it a cream ale, there can be a great cream ale.
Sure, right.
Yeah.
But
what yeast, by the way?
We use several different yeast strains. This happens to be Augustiner here.
Oh, nice.
In front of you.
Okay.
That's one of my go-tos.
Is Augustiner a White Labs yeast? I guess probably everybody has.
They do.
They have a derivative.
I was going to say everybody at this point has that. When you look under it, and then suddenly it's like comparable to every other yeast provider. So I don't know how competitive it is out there on the yeast game, but Chris White, if you're listening, we love you too.
Yeah. What are we pouring now, JP?
This is the Figtoberfest.
Okay. Tell us about this beer.
Well, I don't know much about it, but I'll let the guys talk about it.
I like the label, by the way. It is like a true Bavarian Oktoberfest theme.
Thank you very much. So our approach on this beer, this is an extremely true to form classic fest beer. And this is actually a super freshie. Just pulled it off the line the other day.
Nice.
Honestly, I'm sorry. I'm talking and playing musical beers all at the same time here. Yeah. This is one of my favorite beers that we produce.
What is a fest beer?
A fest beer is this beautiful celebratory beer that is produced during the time of Oktoberfest. It is a gold lager.
Do you need a booster seat?
No, it's fine. I keep looking over. I can tell a lot of big.
Short.
No, it's fine. I can tell a lot of big burly beer dudes have been sitting in these seats.
That's true.
Maybe it's time to reconsider what kind of seats we have.
Is that why your feet don't touch the floor?
So yes, we need a booster seat. Is what you say.
Yeah. My feet dangle. It's fine.
I'm trying to think of a good transition into this beer, but maybe
that's okay. I'll pick up for you. So it's a fest beer, and it's usually done, of course, during Oktoberfest.
Absolutely.
Right.
So we're looking at a beautiful gold, crystal clear beer here. It's typically got more malt character than a Helles, but and a little hop character as well.
Okay.
But not overwhelmingly so. Think just gentle biscuit sweetness, a little bit of meadowy hop characteristics. Not overwhelming on the alcohol front. So this beer is actually 5.3%.
Okay.
They can go all the way up to just over 6.
So a fest beer would normally be a lower alcohol than a Helles, right?
No. A Helles beer is typically in that range of anywhere from 4.5 typically to just over 5.
So this is where I get confused because I can't imagine why for Oktoberfest, where you drink copious amounts of beer, that they decide to make a higher alcohol
Slightly stronger.
beer. Yeah.
It's the German way. I think it's
it's the German way.
It's like, okay, how can we make this more fun?
Yeah.
And we will get you to drink many beers.
Yeah, of course.
It's about a beer that's not available all the time. So a Helles beer is typically that beer that's constantly available, all the time. It's a regular produced beer, and this is a style that you need to celebrate around. And there's a lot of misconception about this versus a Märzen style beer.
Right.
Now, Märzen style beer is great, and that's typically produced in March, and it's cave aged until Oktoberfest, but it's called Märzen.
Yeah.
An Oktoberfest style beer is almost always a fest beer now, and that is a golden lager that is widely drank at the Oktoberfest. It's the one you see all of them carrying many mugs.
Yeah.
Beardy, you'd look great.
There would be a hair for each mug.
Yeah. That's for the entire duration of Oktoberfest, or for many years of it.
Yes. I'm really glad you're bringing up this difference between the Märzen and the fest
It's
beer.
important.
I've gone to Oktoberfest several times. Friends that are Germans, and they are often confused between the difference between a Märzen and a fest beer.
Sure.
And I think part of that is a lot of the messaging here in the U.S. has always been Märzen, Oktoberfest, same fucking difference.
Yep.
But it's really not.
Yeah.
And you can tell just by looking at it, of course.
Big difference.
And now this is a very authentic fest beer.
Thank you.
I can picture myself sitting in the tent right now and drinking this beer, and it is just like the wonderful German ones that I had.
I can't thank you enough for saying that. That's really what we're looking for here in a beer like this, is authenticity. And again, back to just harping on bringing people together. That's what we're about. Yeah. We are about, sharing this beer together, and it's kind of hard to, speak over the airlines here and talk about this, but it's about you and I speaking together right now. It's not necessarily about the beer itself. As long as the beer is excellent, we're just going to talk, and we're going to have a great time,
Right. You're right.
That's what it's about. We don't need to dissect every single beer we drink, and we don't need to count, but we do.
Right. Which, by the way, at Oktoberfest is the same principle. They're not sitting there analyzing those beers. Now, if they were to get a bad one, a German would certainly say, this is no good.
They would talk over and over about it.
Yeah.
That's right.
But if it's good, it sort of becomes transparent.
It's a standard of excellence is set.
Yeah.
And then if it's not great, then we talk about it.
And for that matter, Germans really have their favorite beer tents, which is a beer tent is owned by a brewery. So you might end up at the Lowenbrau tent or the Augustiner tent or the Spaten tent. And I have found that each German, has their opinion, of course, about which is the best one. And then I do also find them talking about how a fest beer might vary from year to year, which is cool because when you drink a Helles there, much like when you drink a mega American light lager here, you don't really talk about them in years. They just they make it the same all the time.
Sure.
And that's what they want. But the fest beer might actually be a little different every year.
I think that's a great point. There's a focus on harvesting hops. There's a focus on cultivating and harvesting barley.
Yeah.
And that year, they're using a little bit more barley. They're using a little bit more specialty malts, whether it's Munich or Vienna.
Yeah.
It's kind of giving it this whether it's a little more toast character, a little more color, these are things that they consider. And then a little bit more hop character. Now, when you're thinking about people that are drinking these beers that are very delicate, very finesse forward, they're able to pick out those subtleties, these little small differences. In America, we're kind of focused on like what's the loudest, most bright kind of characteristic we can possibly find. These people, it's ingrained, it's hard-coded.
Yeah.
We're finding these very delicate differences in nature of beer. It's fantastic.
You're right, and I was unable to converse about those subtleties, to be honest. Like
because
I
you
had
drank too many, or
yes. No, first because they're so subtle.
Right.
So I kind of went one year and then skipped a couple years and went back, and the German friend I went with wanted to talk about how this beer was different than the last time I had it, and I had to be honest with him. I said, listen, I don't know. I can't tell. I appreciate that you can tell these subtleties like you're talking about, Kevin.
Awesome.
But I can't because we're used to more drastic changes in a beer, right?
That's right.
So for me, my palate just wasn't quite refined enough on the German beer style to say, oh, yes, the malt profile.
Right.
This one.
Well, I'm sure smoking all those cloves didn't help you.
That's probably no good. And then I like that you went for the whole experience, too. Beer drinking is also a visual experience. You have the Bavarian colors on the bottle. Right. The beer itself looks like it should, and then it tastes like a fest beer. So I really feel like I'm getting the whole experience.
Thank you. That's fantastic. It's, our company was founded by a father-son duo that we're really looking at, the Dietenhoffers. They are the Dietenhoffers. I've been to the town Dietenhofen.
Yeah.
It's very cool, to just really have them pass along that, experience and really kind of grasp an understanding of these great beers that are coming out of Germany. It's been a passion of mine for a long time, and it's reiterated working for such great guys.
Sure. And how did you get into the German beer style?
Now, that's a great question, too. I think starting at Heavy Seas, like I was mentioning before, I worked under an amazing brewmaster. His name was Ernesto Egoat. He was a vice president of production for San Miguel.
Okay.
So we're talking a very large brewing company.
Yeah.
And their main focus is macro-style lagers. And being able to work under a guy like that who had been working there for 25 years, his focus is macro-style lagers. He's a brewmaster, studied in Germany. He was in the Bitburger School. He studied there for 6 years, became a brewmaster. He's a doctor of engineering, chemical engineering. So this is what a brewmaster is. It's a doctorate of chemical engineering plus this brewing know-how, and you kind of you take that from there. And he taught me, about a sliver of what he knows.
Right.
And I kind of took that passion and was able to kind of transmute that into producing lagers that I care about, and hopefully other people do too.
So you also, you're talking about the community part, but it sounds like you also like the engineering and science part.
I do.
Yeah.
I think it's extremely important in beer. In terms of creating products you really care about and products that ultimately you should be caring about what you produce. But
sure.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I got to get us to a break, but we've got more beer to try. So we're going to do the break, and we're going to come back. I think we've got a Dunkel to try.
We do.
Is it Dunkles?
It's a Dunkel.
Dunkel.
Yes, we have a Dunkel.
I dunkled in my pants.
Yes.
You guys won an award for this, I think.
We've won a couple. We're very proud of that.
I thought I remembered sitting at the GABF either last year. We broadcast the GABF Awards, and I remember sitting there either last year or the year before and hearing the name. Am I wrong?
No, so last year we won a gold medal.
Year. Okay.
And we also won a gold medal at World Beer Cup. So
nice.
We're about to try, hopefully, still one of the best Dunkels in the world.
So are you going to have to change the name this year? Do you think?
There's a lot of discussion about this, and what we've kind of come to the conclusion is that it's not sexist. So I think we're good.
Oh, good call. Yeah,
no, and that's important.
Everybody poops.
You're right.
Yeah,
everybody.
That's right. That's true. No, I think it's extremely important.
Actually, if you're going to change it to everybody poops.
That's everybody dunkles.
Everybody dunkles.
Yeah. And that's a concern of ours. We don't want to offend people. And sexism's not cool. That's not what we're after.
Sure.
So,
how dare you assume that I have to wear pants?
Now it's pantsism.
That's fucked up.
That's true.
I
dunkled in my shorts.
I dunkled my bottoms.
You are clearly pantsist.
In my seat. Yeah.
I dunkled in my beard.
That's how
I'd never do that.
You might.
It's getting long enough.
I'm gonna watch.
Totally done that.
I'm gonna watch every drop.
He doesn't do it. Candy does.
She's half German. It's a thing.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to try more beer from Figueroa.
A couple extra R's, why not?
Figueroa Mountain Brewing Company.
Hang in there, it's the session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. The Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Grog tags aren't just for labeling your home brews to hand out to your friends. They're the perfect way to round out your personal brewing marketing. Bringing your latest beer to a funeral? Craft a metal sign to go with it. Heading out to little Liam's bar mitzvah? Grog Tag custom bottle caps are awesome. Couldn't get out of jury duty this year? Grog Tag the hell out of the deliberation room with reusable labels. Grog Tag has an awesome array of products just waiting to be customized by you. Metal signs, coasters, tasting mats, bottle caps, tap handles. It's all there waiting for your designs at Grog Tag. Liven up your next party with the widest selection of custom products ever offered by a sponsor of the Brewing Network. Grog Tag. At least your beer will look good.
Your support of the Brewing Network means everything to us. We couldn't produce shows without you. And we love giving you something extra for that support. Like Brew Your Own magazine. You already know it's a great brewing magazine full of recipes, equipment how-tos, discussions of beer styles, and brewing techniques. Whether you're new to brewing and just starting out or you're an old pro, you'll always learn something from the articles in Brew Your Own. Plus, they're amazing special issues like plans for building a Brutus 10 system, 250 classic clone recipes, and the Homebrewer's Answer Book. Brew Your Own magazine and BYO.com are awesome resources for any brewer, whether for yourself or as a gift. When you subscribe or resubscribe from the Brewing Network homepage, you directly support programs like this. Get a great magazine and support the Brewing Network. Subscribe to Brew Your Own right from thebrewingnetwork.com.
Do you know the three most important rules in brewing? Sanitation, sanitation, and sanitation. And no one does it better than 5-Star Chemicals. 5-Star knows sanitation. You can only sanitize clean equipment. And 5-Star knows how to clean, too. For craft brewers and home brewers, 5-Star has what you need to keep your fermenters, serving tanks, kegs, and draft lines sparkling and free of any beer-spoiling bacteria. PBW, caustic, acid cleaners, Star Sand, SaniClean, lubricants and defoamers, pH stabilizers, and more. 5-Star Chemicals has cleaning supplies, safety supplies, heat exchangers, pumps, hoses, and valves. And 5-Star is proud to offer eco-friendly products that exceed customer expectations. If you have a cleaning problem, you need the 5-Star solution. Visit 5starchemicals.com or call 800-782-7019. 800-782-7019 and get the 5-Star treatment today.
Are you looking for a simple brewing system that's great for all-grain brewing, but everything on the market seems to be full of compromises? Blickman Engineering has the answer. The Blickman Brew Easy all-grain brewing system. The Brew Easy is a complete system with easy upgrades and a beautiful compact design, perfect for any size brewing location. At its core, the Brew Easy is built on two gorgeous Blickman Boilermaker brew kettles, a high-temperature March pump, and either a top-tier gas burner or the new Boil Coil electric heater. The Brew Easy adapter lid allows the pots to stack on top of each other, forming an efficient, strong, and compact brewing setup that comes in 5, 10, and 20-gallon batch sizes. Upgrade your Brew Easy system with full automated control by adding a Blickman Tower of Power temp controller, and make moving around easy with the Blickman Kettle Cart. The Brew Easy is modular. If you already own a Boilermaker kettle, you can build your Brew Easy by purchasing just the modules you need. The new Brew Easy all-grain brewing system. See it today at BlickmanEngineering.com and brew with Blickman quality on your new Brew Easy.
If you work in retail sales, the restaurant industry, or are a new craft beer enthusiast, or you know someone who is, you have got to check out Beer 101. Beer 101 is an online course created for anyone wanting a quick introduction to the vast world of craft beer. Beer 101 covers the history of beer, brewing ingredients and processes, vital stats like ABV, SRM, IBU, and gravity, styles, tasting, glassware, and pairing beer with food. The Beer 101 course is offered by the Brewers Association at craftbeer.com. Also home to the truly awesome Beer Style Finder, a visual guide to every beer style. Quickly play with color, bitterness, and alcohol content to interactively explore the entire world of beer styles with a gorgeously designed interface to your favorite beverage. The new Beer 101 course and new Beer Style Finder are only available at craftbeer.com. Craftbeer.com, celebrating the best of American beer.
Hi, this is Tyler from Libertine Brewing Company on the Central Coast of California. You're listening to Brewing Network, The Session. It sucks. Does it suck? It sucks. But that's what's good about it, is that it sucks, right?
All right, welcome back to the show. Thanks for sticking with us. And thanks for sticking with White Labs. They've stuck with us for years and make a great product. If you're a professional brewer who's planning to submit your beers to the Great American Beer Festival, as you're preparing your next medal-winning recipe, send some of your finished beers to White Labs for their next big QC day. The program was started in 2007 as a way for professional brewers to have multiple analytical tests conducted at once, while also offering you some big savings. So all you got to do is purchase a big QC day test kit and get your samples submitted before it's coming up August 28th. White Labs will test your beers for IBUs, alcohol content, calories, attenuation, gluten content, and more. And by participating in Big QC Day, you'll be able to see how your beers perform compared to the entire pool of participants. So to learn more about the great cost-saving program, visit whitelabs.com/BigQCDay. That's whitelabs.com/BigQCDay. And don't worry about what's happening with your beer. Test it at White Labs.
That's right.
I miss Chris White. I haven't seen him in months. I feel like he's broken up with me.
He may have.
He might have done so.
He's a busy guy.
He is a busy guy.
Are you testing your homebrew with him?
Oh, he did ask me to tell you something back in June.
Back in June?
Yeah. He said something about you guys breaking up.
I feel like he's broken up. I feel like he has another podcast boyfriend or something.
Well, a couple weeks ago when Warren and I were hanging out with him.
Yeah. What? You guys hung out with him?
Yeah, we didn't tell you that?
Oh, yeah.
On his yacht.
Over at JP's house.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is getting ridiculous.
He said, don't invite Justin, please.
Yeah, he goes, I'm really kind of tired of that guy just floating along.
Now you guys are making things up.
We weren't before.
And I'm not going to stand for it.
He also said, don't let Justin assume that you're making things up all the time.
Right.
So that happened.
All right, go check out whitelabs.com and remind Chris that I love him.
This beer we're drinking sucks.
Oh,
yeah. How many calories in this beer?
Terrible.
You are loving this German beer, aren't you?
It's bad.
We're waiting on caloric intake values from White Labs.
Are you? Did you send in some... All right, what do we have in our glass now? The Dunkel. The Dunkeled in my pants.
We are drinking I Dunkeled in my pants at this moment right now. This is a really true to form classic Munich-style Dunkel here.
It's terrible, right?
Did you Dunkel your pants?
It is wonderful. It's a gold medal winner, right?
It is. So thank you. We're extremely, extremely happy about that. This is a classic style Munich Dunkel. We won the gold medal at the World Beer Cup last year.
So against German Dunkels.
Yeah, that was kind of a interesting moment when we're you can imagine we're in a room full of these amazing craft brewers internationally, and we're sitting there, and it's an extremely hard thing to win any medal in a World Beer Cup setting.
Yeah.
Let alone in a room with 17% Germans that are waiting for their name to be called because the beers are the best. Right. And and suddenly I Dunkeled in my pants gets announced, and
wow,
and the crowd kind of goes wild, and half the crowd kind of is terrified.
Oh wow, yeah.
So it was a really interesting experience in Philly that year. That was really awesome. We were super stoked.
That's a meaningful award.
Yeah.
Oh, are you kidding?
Yeah. It's a good John to get.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of all our beers and what we've done, but that was one of the most endearing parts of what we do as brewers, to know that your beer on any level internationally, is acceptable and let alone thriving. So that was great.
What do you think made this beer stand out in that category?
I think it's balance. I think this beer strikes excellent balance. I think it's this perfect. I hate to ever say a beer is perfect, but it's a great, well-rounded approach to the style. It's crystal clear. It's got some chocolate notes that are not overwhelmed by hop notes, that they don't overwhelm any of the dryness factor. It's not too sweet. It's kind of this approach to this style that 5.4% that just kind of fits, perfectly to the guideline.
Yeah. Had you brewed this and entered it before and had to tweak it to get it to this point?
The funny thing about this beer is actually that was the first time we entered this beer.
Really?
So that's when we were really like, holy hell, like, did we nail something? Like, we're pretty proud of this beer and we didn't make any changes. You never change a beer after it's done anything, whether it's bronze, silver, gold, a best in show at a local festival, whatever it is. You do not tweak it. That's my rule. Like, if it's won anything, you don't change it. Don't, because you're going to drive yourself absolutely mad.
Sure.
If you start tweaking stuff and changing things around, you're going to go nuts. So
is it your first pass at the beer at all, or did you have iterations before you won the match?
We had one other iteration of a Munich Dunkel about 2 years before then.
I see.
And that beer was all over the place in terms of the recipe formulation, in my opinion. And we wanted to come at it with a fresh take.
Okay.
Yeah.
A Dunkel, to me, is one that could easily have that lingering sweet aftertaste.
Agreed.
Which ruins a great Dunkel. It can taste great when you have it in the front.
Sure.
And then quickly just turn into something you don't want another pint of.
Too much sweetness.
This does not have that at all.
Thank you. I think that's the approach of a style like this. It's that balance of, like, you got these really great diversified malt profile that's got a lot of malt intensity, in my opinion, of a little bit of caramel, a little bit of toffee, chocolate, but then it's that ability to find that balance of not too sweet, and have it attenuate properly. That's very difficult, and I think myself and my team really have created one that we're really proud of.
Is this a single infusion or step?
This is single infusion, believe it or not.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's something I want to explain to brewers, hopefully, that are listening right now, is that don't ever get knocked down in tradition. Like, thrive on tradition. Produce these great beers that are inspired by tradition, but just know that it's not always about what you have at your disposal as far as technology, or as far as I know some of my best friends that are brewing amazing beers are fascinated by brewing these great beers with single infusion and low quality equipment that they paid nothing for.
Wow.
Great beer can happen. So that's I will say that again and again and again.
The Germans that you beat out in the category, who are undoubtedly listening to this program, are thinking, "Das ist bullshit.
We must get better into the session.
Decoction. You must not single fuse."
It's funny. I mean, that you mentioned. I have several German brewing friends. We were in Germany last year. We're about to install a 60-barrel Braukamp brew house, so we were over there. And speaking with them, they're all, tell me about American brewing tradition. Tell me about IPA. Tell me this. And I'm like, Dunkel.
Right.
Even after we've showed that we're able to produce some great quality beers and at a high caliber. And, we're really proud of what we do, but at the same time, it's this amazing exchange of information back
That's
and forth.
good, yeah.
I bet the German brewers are just like, well, those are American judges.
Yeah.
Judging our beer.
And it could have
Judges
been.
is scheisse.
What do they know?
It was a wide judging range this past go-around. So we're hoping a few international judges were on there and really appreciating what American craft brewers can do.
Sure. This beer is really great. Can you tell us about the malt bill?
Sure. The malt bill, it's a ton of Weyermann Munich.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, it's just
what do you 80%?
Yeah, in that neighborhood.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Wow.
up there. Yeah, it's
Okay.
up there for sure.
Doc would
Light
hate
or
this.
dark?
I don't know how to say a lot, but in German, but
Munich 1 or Munich 2?
Munich 2. Yeah,
2?
Weyermann Munich 2. We love it. It's a great way to diversify your toast profile in any beer. A lot of that, a very small amount of a small amount of chocolate. Very, very, very small amount of Pilsner.
Okay.
Honestly, it's a simple beer.
Is that a pretty traditional bill, do you think?
I'd say most traditional would be a decoction with Munich.
With just Munich.
Or Pilsner.
And
honestly.
then you boil to get the color, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's
really? I would love
like a 3-hour boil or
to
some
taste
nonsense.
one that I knew was all Pilsner but had a color like that, and that they just
They're out there.
concocted
Make
it
one.
until-
They're out there.
Just make one.
Boil for days.
Yeah.
Have Warren make one for you.
Unfortunately, you boil it down
I
from
have
about...
a brewer. She'll do it.
Yeah. You boil it from about 200 hectoliters down to about 60.
Right.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
It would seem like that. Yeah.
Volume.
I never knew that. That's interesting.
Yeah. That's a big part of decoction mashing. I think a lot of the greatest doppelbocks on earth, and these really dark, really intense malt forward products that are coming out of Germany. A lot of them are decoction mash, single, double.
How do you think the guy felt who boiled for 2 days? Lost to you guys last year.
That's what I'm saying.
I feel for those guys, but I certainly cheered them at the end of the day.
Yeah. I would love to taste kind of the two side by side too. I would bet that oftentimes there are flaws in that 2-day decocted. I know we're making that up, but that sort of long decocted mash that you might not taste in something like yours, just because the process is a little bit uncontrolled. You know what I mean? And as opposed to modified malts.
Sure. I think a lot of German brewing, in its nature, is control. That's the nature of German brewing. Is like, how do we control everything? And American craft brewing is let's control as much as we can, but we'll fly by the seat of our pants on other things as well.
Yeah.
So I'm passionate about drinking these fantastic style traditional German beers.
Yeah.
And I've hope Mom's not listening, but I've drank a lot. Drank a lot of them, and and I'm proud to say so, because this has really ultimately kind of cultivated our culture and the way we produce beers.
Is this available on shelves in bottles, or is this just from the brewery?
This is not in bottles yet.
Okay.
It's something that we're looking at, to be sure, but it's this is. I wanted to bring you guys a couple things that we have multiple locations, and being able to produce draft items that are not necessarily available on the shelf.
Yeah,
it's what we do very well too. So,
can you bring some of this shit into the Hop Grenade, please? Like something like just this, or the Dunk, or the Oktoberfest.
Do you sell this to accounts in kegs?
So we do.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, we do.
I would love to bring it.
I would love a high quality lager on here.
Yeah.
Finally.
Shut up.
At some point, whenever you feel like it.
I'm drinking a high quality lager right now. I'm pretty happy about it.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. It's not a traditional lager.
Okay.
It's good. It's good. Tradition versus what's that?
Bring your own fucking beer. Is what you got to do.
BYOFB.
Is this? I've almost done it.
Have you had JP's lager? It's not great.
All right, I want to try the stout too.
Stout, cool.
Before we move on to some hoppy
actually
beers.
do it.
Cool.
Was this are all three of these lagers the same Augustiner yeast?
Yes, those three actually are, but it's not always in our nature.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We play around with a lot of yeast strains.
Do you keep your own yeasts and then grow them up as you want, or you have somebody do that for you?
No, we typically will propagate certain strains, but only we try to get 3 or 4 generations when we're experimenting. But other than that, we will typically go anywhere from 8 to 12, and that's about it.
Okay.
On the lager strains? 8 to
all
12
strains.
generations?
All strains, yeah.
Okay.
That's just open range, yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be an interesting switch from all those killer lagers now to a nice quintessential ale.
To killer ale.
To killer IPAs.
Right.
Yeah. And JP, by the way,
IPAs.
I'm sorry, we're on stout here.
The stout, yeah. JP, by the way, the Crowler
This is the best IPA I've
Pour
ever
Master.
I'm pretty good, right?
It's a dark
You are very
IPA.
good, yeah.
I did. I started out boiling hot dogs. So
And now, and now he can pour Crowlers.
yeah. You thought you were the only one.
Yeah.
Okay,
He's still boiling hot dogs.
Andre, you've advanced further if you think about it. You're brewing
Right.
beer, he's pouring Crowlers.
Right.
Okay. All right.
So,
But he's got a pretty sweet Sierra Nevada shirt on.
That's pretty true.
Andre didn't even think to bring us a fucking hot dog today.
No, he's a dick.
You know,
I'm kinda hungry.
Kevin brought us
He's
a
a
bunch of
dog.
great beer.
Right.
Andre,
He's my dog, though.
Andre showed up with nothing.
No.
Not even a hot dog.
This is actually Andre's Yeti cooler behind me. I hope.
Okay.
I brought the
I'm a
cold
Yeti
beer.
spokesman. I hope they pay me
That's fair.
for
Yeah, you
shout
get
out to
brand
Yeti.
specific there.
Yeah.
You got to do it.
Did you guys drive up from Buellton for this show? None of you live
Santa
up
Barbara,
here,
actually.
right?
Further south.
Okay.
We really want to be up here.
Now, you have 6 locations.
We do.
You do, okay. And since 2010, what's the kind of spread? You guys opening up one a year, or what?
You know, it's been fairly aggressive, I would say. But so when I started in 2012. At that time, we only had the Buellton location, so that's our bread and butter. That's where we produce the majority of our packaged product. We're producing about 18,000 barrels a year right there at this point. We are slowly but surely on the back end of installing a 60-barrel Braucon brew house there.
Wow!
We're almost at the completion stage of that to finally get that up and running. We're really excited for that. And that's where the majority of our packaging takes place. Shortly thereafter, opening that in 2010, it was about 2013 late, we opened our Santa Barbara location, which is just doing great. That was our main kind of piloting facility, just kind of a creative outlet for our brewing staff and able to produce these great beers that we weren't able to produce on quite the scale of Buellton.
Okay.
Yeah, and then after that, we opened a couple tasting rooms. We opened one in Los Olivos in our wine country. We opened one in Santa Maria, just to the north. We weren't producing beer there, but then nearly simultaneously, we opened one in San Luis Obispo County, and we opened one in Westlake Village.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's southern Ventura County.
What's the deal? You guys have a Type 23 brewery license.
So we do have a Type 23.
And in California, that allows what in terms of tasting?
6 locations.
So you guys you've now maxed out your location.
So that's certainly something we wanted to do. You look at a lot of models. There's interesting models out there as far as producing beer and how you want to integrate into the community. And some people don't want to look at the way we did it and think it's okay, and some people think it's great. We ultimately used that Type 23 license, at its most, to show what we can do, not just in one facility.
Right.
We have this great staff of brewers that's extremely, extremely creative, and we have this drive to show everybody what we can do. So rather than we have 8 or 9 beers on draft, we have 30.
Right.
And
And of course, I'm surprised that more brewers don't do it. And in fact, I was talking to one of your sales members about this, who brought up an excellent point. I'm surprised that more breweries don't do it because there's also the financial aspect of the margin. Obviously, the more you can sell out of house, out of your own tap room, at a higher margin, the better you are. And every brewery that I know who has a successful tasting room understands this math like very, very easily. Even I understand this math.
Sure.
I'm an idiot. So opening as many locations as you can, and I'm finding that more breweries are doing it now. Now, we've talked to a lot of breweries who have mentioned, well, it's expensive to open tasting rooms, and, well, we're just focused on this one, and a lot of things. But what your team mentioned to me today I thought was really interesting is that there's a distribution aspect to it. And that is that distributors might not want you competing with them in the territory that you might either already be distributed in or want to be distributed in. So they might shun you a little bit if you do this multi-location situation. And I never thought about that perspective before.
Sure. It's something that we've considered, and I totally understand that point. What our argument, and I hate to use the word argument, it's not the right word, but
bullshit it isn't.
what you've shown.
What it is that we have this great outlet for somebody to send people to experience what we do in our brand and our products and the quality and level of assurance that brand brings.
Right.
It's a place that people can go visit and say, you know what, like Figueroa Mountain is producing these great beers.
Yeah.
And why don't we stop by there and then we can taste everything right there and then. And that's awesome. I hate to use it as like, a place to show what our brand's all about, and a place where they can shop around our brand and learn what our core products are about or what specialties they might be able to field or pull in.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's kind of like, hey, look, this is our brand. This is what we do. Like, it's almost like a showroom.
It's like having an Apple store, basically. And so it was. What happened was sort of the reverse. Ultimately, it sounded like you self-distributed for quite a while.
Certainly did.
And ultimately, what happened is after the many tasting rooms are open, the distributor took the reverse approach and said, "Wow, you guys are doing great, and that's why we want to carry your beer."
I think that was kind of the way it went, and we outgrew that. So it turned into, okay, we can supply these 2/3 locations, and then it was like, you know what? The demand is getting higher. The quality is certainly at the same level.
Yeah.
And you know what? How do we keep up with this? Getting any larger than we are.
Yeah.
That's when you have to start thinking about the distribution pathway and those things that you're going to pursue.
Why open multiple brewing facilities though, versus just have one large central location?
That's a great question.
Have a bunch of satellite
That's a great question.
Tasting rooms.
And the answer is that I've got an amazing team of hungry brewers that are ready to get ideas out. and we won't settle for less, and we won't say no. We're going to figure out a way to house all that, and we're going to figure out a way to get these ideas out.
What are the different sizes of brew houses? You said Buellton's going to be a 60-barrel.
Buellton's coming into a 60-barrel. We're believe it or not, we're brewing on a 15-barrel still right now.
Wow.
Yeah, and we're pumping that thing.
Oh, yeah. Every day.
Yeah.
22 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Dre's making a lot of hot dogs.
In between hot dogs, he's running the 15-barrel system.
The other 2 hours in the day are hot dog day.
Exactly,
yeah. Well, he's just trying to make more than he eats.
Yeah. Brewers got to eat.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, we're working on 15-barrel platforms at 2 of those locations. Santa Barbara location's a 7-barrel. So for the most part, it's development purposes. Okay. We're getting ideas out. We're honing recipes. We're doing what we do. But it's a great way for brewers to write recipes. That's what we want to do as brewers. It's like being a home brewer and having ultimate freedom to suddenly being reduced to, no, you're brewing IPA, you're brewing this, you're brewing that. I think a lot of pro brewers have gone through that phase, and I think to be able to have an outlet and be able to produce the beer that you want on your terms within a framework of excellence, it's great.
So each location each brewer at the location, different location, gets a little bit of free reign to make.
I'd say a ton of
special.
I'd say a ton
special
of
brands.
Yeah, and that's kind of my job, is to help those guys within a Figueroa Mountain framework bring their ideas to true to form liquid.
Wow.
And that's hard for me because I want to ultimately empower those guys and give them everything, and they got some great ideas and we're rolling with them, so it's cool.
And so between the four,
no, that's okay.
Between the 4 locations, you have up to, you said, 30 different beers at any given time.
We typically have about anywhere from 24 to 30 beers on at all times.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a difficult question to not give me a cookie cutter answer to.
Yeah.
And it's not because you've been doing that. It's really because of the question.
Sure.
And that is about quality control about those locations. And what I mean by quality control is, I know the obvious thing is, well, we taste the beers and we do this. But are you rejecting beers? Are you sending them back? Do they have to clear a recipe with you? Because the beers are very, very good.
Thank you.
And so to have even one location who you're clearly trying to give autonomy to put beers on tap that are not up to your standards would be detrimental to the brand.
Sure.
So how do you give me some detail about how you really control that?
So, I'll start the answer with, again, we're professionals. We certainly take that into consideration. I've got a team of 8 excellent brewers. We have this amazing QC manager. His name is Patrick.
Okay.
And for the sake of Patrick, I will not mention his last name, but I will mention that he is a doctor.
Unknown even to the staff, because he has to send the negative feedback.
Dr. Patrick.
Dr. Patrick himself. Let's call him Dr. Patrick G.
Okay.
You can find him. You can find him, but only if you come down and visit, because he's not on any kind of social media or anything like that.
Okay.
So we have this amazing. Patrick's amazing. He does a lot of QC analysis for us. What we're doing is we have this SOP program in place where we're taking samples from our different sites and we're sending them. We're ensuring that certain lactic acid producing bacteria or certain things are not present.
Okay.
As far as recipe formulation is concerned, I'm trying to give the guys as much free reign as possible, because I remember having a lot of great ideas and a lot of stupid ideas when I was first starting to brew professionally.
And that's kind of what I'm getting at, is the stupid ideas have to come across your plate.
Stupid ideas happen, and some stupid ideas are genius ideas, at the same time. So I like, a stupid idea could ultimately be like, wow, that could be actually excellent.
Okay.
And now we're willing to let some of those ideas come out and create some beers that maybe that was not the way I wanted to approach that style or that beer, but maybe that turns out to be that's going to be our next core brand.
Sure.
You never know. So I've seen a lot in my day. I've been brewing almost 10 years professionally, and I get to see a lot of good, great, and bad ideas.
Do you either at all or with any regularity say, you know what, no, that one's just not going to work? Before tasting it, I mean, even seeing a recipe and just going, good effort.
I'd say every once in a while.
Okay.
It happens where it's just like, you know what, like this recipe is cacophonous. Like this, why do we need 7 hops in this beer? Why do we need, five grains in this beer that's supposed to be a Helles lager? Like what,
Sure.
What is it? Or in a lot of times, I just open that field and open that platform of, hey, describe. Well, why does this need to be?
Just make them explain. Yeah,
describe it.
To get to the bottom.
And tell me why you're passionate, and tell me why you're enthusiastic about bringing this on.
Yeah,
and if they got some good stuff behind it, I'm like all about it.
I like
go
that.
for it. Yeah. No, it's never an absolute shutdown. No, we're not doing this.
Sure.
No, because that's where you lose the greatest ideas.
Yeah,
is if you're not allowing some of that. So my job is really hard because I have to say no sometimes, but you always want to say yes.
Yeah, I have an idea, Justin. Based just after that speech,
it's a shitty
hot
idea.
dog water adjustment. Oh,
that sucks.
So that's how it works here.
Yeah.
It usually is though. The idea.
You're turning red again.
Yeah.
You're turning red again.
That's how you know I'm happy.
It's the lights.
Our SOPs are no. It's just me saying no.
Understood.
Right.
Yeah. Now you send every beer then through the lab to make sure everything's okay?
Nearly every single beer. I won't say every single beer, but some of them are, they're essentially, one-off products that may disappear pretty quickly, but we hold tight a very strict regimen of SOPs as far as our cleanliness and packaging and all that is concerned. So
Okay.
not every single beer, but nearly all.
And are certain brands only brewed at, say, Buellton? Or do they bounce around?
So I'd say the majority of core products, they're being brewed out of Buellton. But we also have core product production out of the satellites as well. I mean, we have a lot of thirsty people that we need to provide those brands to.
Nice.
And do you vary the recipes and water treatment a little bit?
So water treatment is all RO. So as far as every location,
okay. Yeah.
So we're able to doctor that water profile up just how we want it,
Okay.
and we kind of go from there.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about this stout in our glass that I've been sipping while we've been having this conversation. Cool. Another wonderful beer, very flavorful, but also dries out at the end as it should. Again, with that, it doesn't leave that overly sweet taste that I dislike.
Cool.
However, it's a sweet beer. Right. It's kind of. Would you call this a sweet stout, or would you call this a dry stout? Or?
I would call this a classic Irish style dry stout.
Dry stout. Okay.
Yeah. So the approach on this beer is certainly to have some roast character. It doesn't need to be overwhelmingly roast forward, but it certainly needs to kind of have that dark chocolate kind of roasted barley, coffee like kind of aromatic quality to it. Bitterness is okay. It just can't be overwhelmingly bitter. It certainly needs to be dry, but it should have some texture. It needs some body. And I hope we achieved it this go around. We're all pretty stoked about this. Believe it or not, this beer is only 4%.
Really?
It actually is 4 though. It after doing a couple of calculations, it's riding on like 3.97%.
I see. So it's really right there.
Yeah. Guinness would be upset because it's not dead on, but I'm pretty happy with it.
As you should be.
Yeah.
This is another great beer. Your ales are good too. My palate's a little shitty lately, but so when I say these things, they're more questions than statements.
Sure. No, I appreciate it.
But
how much corn is in here?
Yeah, exactly.
Flaked corn.
Well, I always get a milk stout taste out of it, I guess is what I wanted to say.
That's actually, I'm really happy to hear that, because a lot of stouts that are brewed in this style, they may have some, what we would call just residual astringency. That the beer would finish with almost this just kind of tannic bite and slightly, I hate to use the word tart because it's not the right nomenclature, but it would be almost this overhanging kind of tartness. It's inappropriate. And this beer ultimately should just be dry and should finish dry. Should almost start with that roast character. If it's mid-palate sweet, I'm super stoked on that, because that's what makes these beers the most approachable.
That's my impression on it. Is that mid-palate sweet is where I'm picking up the milk stout.
That's
type
great.
Of,
there is no lactose in this beer. We're talking all grain here. It's grain and water. It's a little bit of earth-like hops coming from Kent Goldings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just Kent Goldings?
Yep. EKG.
Okay.
Super traditional here. Again, that's kind of the Fig Mountain ways. These are beers that, I hate to say it, but these are recipes that, people are dusting off, and we're forgetting that tradition is so awesome, and we're looking away from tradition and trying to be the most, unique and different, when we've almost forget about why we got into beer in the first place.
Well, and this is what I'm taking away from talking to you and obviously from tasting the beers. And, it's not that breweries who use newer techniques or step outside the box farther haven't come in here and wowed us.
Of course not.
But I will say that more often than not, it is brewers like you who are focused on traditional styles that come in here and wow us. Actually, and we just we talk about the beer like it's a new beer. Even though you're saying, well, it's a traditional style. But we talk about it like, wow, that's what it's almost reminding us, that's what stout tastes like. Or that's what a fest beer is.
It's kind of been my approach from the start is, again, sorry, Mom, but I've been crushing a lot of beers.
Right. Yeah.
In my day here. And, no, honestly, it's... why did you ever get into beer? And I hope it was about people. I really hope it was about people. And I hope it was about a moment where you experienced this great experience with people and you remembered the beer and it was great and you didn't hate the taste of it and and boom, suddenly you love beer, right?
Yeah. Now, you won some awards with this one, too?
That's right. So, no, we're very proud of this beer, like all our beers. This was a silver medal GABF winner. That was in, 2013, I think.
Okay.
And then not last year, the year before, it was a gold medal.
Wow.
Yeah, 2015 gold medal. Yep.
Are you guys only available in California?
We have a small distribution footprint in southern Arizona.
Okay.
Yeah, as well. But, that footprint will grow, but only as far as we can create the greatest beers we can.
Can you skip a couple states and drop in Colorado? We got a hop grenade in Colorado. And
I'll just ship you some.
I want to put this on there. Yeah, that'd be great.
No competition.
Yeah, no competition in Colorado.
Yeah. Terrible beers. Psych.
All right. I got to get us to another break, and I think we got some hoppy beers to try when we come back.
We sure do.
Okay. I'm
like a Pilsner?
Yeah, like a big hoppy Pils.
I wish I brought it. We got a couple single hop Pilsners. I wish I brought one. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Well, now you know. You can always bring us lagers. We'll be
Oh, hell yeah.
So,
all right.
All right. I want to remind you about another brewery guest of ours that they were just great to have on. Neshaminy Creek Brewing Company. They've been on the Philly beer map since 2012 and just recently took home their 4th Philly Beer Scene Magazine Award for Brewer of the Year. That's in 2014, 15, 16, and 17. And their 3rd for Brewery of the Year. So 2-time GABF Vienna-style lager medal winner.
There you go.
In 2013 and 2016, they got the bronze. Also bronze for their smoked-aged lager in 2016. So a lot of medals coming out of there. They're expanding their brewery. Recently renovated tap room with 24 beers on tap, 18 of which are rotating seasonal limited beers. And they told us all about that on the show. Variety of beer styles like hoppy double IPAs to sessionable and poundable lagers, oak fermented saisons, and sour beers. Free brewery tours on Saturdays. You can go to NeshaminyCreekBrewing.com and check them out. And if you go to our homepage into the search field and click and type in Neshaminy Creek, you'll find their show.
Yeah.
And you can learn all about them, too.
Poundable is like the East Coast version of Crushable.
Yeah. Yeah. They're less subtle on the...
Yeah, they're just more literally. Well, what are you going to do?
Pound it.
I'm going to pound it into my face. All right. Here we go.
Versus crushing?
Yeah. Versus crushing.
That's not as literal?
No, it's not.
Brewing on the East
Crushable.
Coast, I was thinking more slammable. Was a word we used as well.
Or drinkable, even.
Drinkable.
I think drinkable.
Wow, that's
Yeah, but that's not regional, Warren.
It's thoughtful.
Okay.
Yeah,
sorry.
So you can crush it, slam it, or pound it in your face.
I prefer to drink my beer, not pound or crush it.
That's nonsense.
But how about slamming it?
That's why no one talks to you.
Sometimes you got to slam, crush, or pound these things.
Sometimes
are you talking
all
about
three.
shotgunning? 'Cause that's what I do. I shotgun beers.
How much ends up on your beard, though?
All of it.
All of it.
Just shotgun a shell for me, please.
In the mouth?
Yes.
A whole shelf of beer?
Right. Just put a shell into a shotgun and shotgun it.
You can go to jail for that now.
Yeah.
There was the chick who encouraged her boyfriend to do that over text.
Which, by the way, greatest girlfriend ever. Are you serious?
She's like, just do it. You've been talking about it.
She was tired of this bullshit, too.
This is us with Beardy.
Yeah.
Beardy, just do it.
Have you ever poured a beer into the beard and tried to just wring it out into your mouth?
Oh, disgusting.
No, that
Why?
sounds awful.
Why?
Why would anybody do that?
Well, you have a giant beard. I'm just curious.
And I feel like now we have to do that on the
It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for him to cut it off, and then we can
beard
dunk it
luge.
in.
It
A beard
hasn't happened,
luge.
but now it's probably going to.
Milk stout.
Milk stout only.
beard stout.
Oh, you guys are going to make me throw up.
Beard stout.
I am with the beard luge. I have the vision.
The beard luge, yeah.
And then it being a milk stout is oh god,
frothy beardy,
noble man's milk.
One more thing before the break. The Homebrew Label Awards are upon us.
Yes, sir. They sure are.
All right, homebrewers, you got to know about this. The Homebrew Label Awards are back. You can submit your artwork at homebrewlabelawards.com and let your homebrewing peers shower you with votes. The labels with the most votes can win fabulous prizes. So last year they handed over $5,000 worth of prizes to the winners, and this year they're doing it again. So no labels, no problem. You can check out all the cool labels being submitted and cast your vote on your favorite ones. Help your fellow homebrewer achieve fame and glory for their homebrew labels. That's homebrewlabelawards.com. All right, we're going to take ourselves a quick break so we can use the bathroom, refill our beers, get ready for some hoppy beers when we come back with Figueroa Mountain.
Mountain.
Also, you can go to figmountainbrew.com, figmtnbrew.com, and check it all out. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
Thanks, guys.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Since 1979, Williams Brewing has offered the finest equipment and freshest ingredients and the best customer service in the business. Check out their brand new patent-pending mash and boil 110-volt electric mashing and boiling unit. This compact all-stainless unit lets you mash, sparge, and boil just about anywhere that has a 110-volt plug. Double-wall construction adds to efficiency and safety, and a precise thermostat keeps temperatures where you want them. Unlike insulated buckets and converted coolers, multiple temperature rest mashing is easy to do, all for under $300. They also feature the Mark II work pump, a magnetic drive high-temperature pump that does the work of pumps that cost twice as much, as well as exclusive Brewer's Edge regulators and quality Keg King kegs and disconnects. Check them out today at williamsbrewing.com to brews their vast selection. With over 20 years of experience making world-class craft beer and more than 100 gold medals in international competitions, Moylan's Brewing Company is not just a pretty face in craft beer. Just ask Brendan Moylan.
What do we got here? The beer of the hour. Moylan's, gotta love that big M. It's like a sign of awesomeness. Woo-hoo! It's got an extra kick to it. Let's pour this bad boy. Oh, yeah. Oh, Moylan's. The end of the night when the kids are finally in bed, the wife's in bed, nobody's bothering your ass anymore. That's Moylan's time. Moylan's is for you. Yeah. It's to help you out. Yeah. It helps me out.
What?
Well, because it's freaking awesome. Northern California brewed. It's brewed with love.
With love?
Oh, yeah. Tremendous. And it's always best where?
Moylan's.
You gotta try it. On tap at Moylan's in Novato. They're friggin' awesome. Not only because I own the brewery, because I love the beer.
Cheers!
Boom.
Kilt Lifter Scotch Ale takes big beers to a whole new level with rich malt balanced perfectly with delicate hops, and now comes in 4-pack tall boy cans so you can take the party on the go. Or come to the brewery, take a tour, and try any of Moylan's fresh creations right from the source. Check them out at moylans.com.
BN Army, have you heard the latest at Hop Tech? Since Hop Tech has doubled in size after a huge expansion, Jade and Roberto can stock even more of the best quality homebrewing supplies and equipment. Over 60 kick-ass varieties of hops and malts, monster truckloads of quality brewer's yeast, including White Labs, Y-yeast, and multiple dry yeasts. They even have all grain systems from Grainfathers and Ruby Street Brew Systems, thanks to Jade, the brand new all-grain brewer. And don't forget about their 10% discount to all BN Army members. Jade and Roberto are waiting for you and all of your brewing questions over at hoptech.com. Hoptech, totally not sucking since 1983.
Hey guys, what'll it be?
I'm not sure. What do you recommend?
A lot of people seem to like the Hefeweizen.
Is that a German Hefeweizen or more of an American-style wheat beer?
I'm not sure, but I can give you a taste.
Okay, great.
The Cicerone Certification Program certifies and educates beer professionals in order to elevate the beer experience for consumers. Unfortunately, not every bar is staffed with certified beer servers who can guide their customers through a beer list.
Here you go, guys. Let me know what you think of the Hefeweizen.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely more of an American wheat. But I can hardly tell because this beer just smells like sour butter. I wonder how long it's been since they cleaned the draft line.
Yeah, and look at the bubbles on the side of the glass. It's filthy.
Somebody should tell these guys about the Cicerone program.
For sure. How about we head somewhere else for another beer?
Your server should give beer the same respect you do. Request quality. The Cicerone Certification Program offers 4 levels of beer certification, in-person classes, and course books for beer professionals. Check them out at cicerone.org. The Cicerone Certification Program. We know beer.
Hey, my brewing brothers and sisters. This is Jamel Zanishev, and I want to tell you about Heretic Evil Twin. You might be familiar with my homebrew recipe, which uses massive late hopping to create a balance between the malty sweet and the hoppy bitter, along with an outrageous malt and hop character. I wanted a beer with the same bold hop and malt character, so we played around with the homebrew recipe until we were able to make a great commercial version too. We've created a beer rich in malt character, full of caramel, toast, biscuit, and an ever so subtle roast note. On top of that, we piled in an insane amount of Citra and Columbus hops at the end of the boil, as well as in dry hopping. This damn-the-cost approach to hopping gives Heretic's Evil Twin a great blast of citrus and tropical fruit that can't be matched by any other hop. The result is a bold, malty, hoppy, but easy-drinking beer. This is our top seller, our flagship beer, and I couldn't be prouder of it. Cheers.
To find Heretic beers near you, click on Find Some at hereticbrewing.com.
Hello, this is David Walker from the Firestone Walker Brewing Company. You are listening to The Session on the Brewing Network.
Thanks for hanging out with us. We're having too good a time at the break, talking beer, drinking beer. You are listening
beer.
to the session. We've got Figueroa Mountain Brewing Company on the program with us tonight, and we are enjoying the beers. If you want to learn to brew good beer, you should check out the new edition of How to Brew from our friend John Palmer.
I love new edition, too.
I just gave away, actually, my old How to Brew because I've got a copy of the new How to Brew. I saved a signed copy that I had.
You have to. You can't give away the signed copy.
Nah, yeah, Palmer signed that for me, and I thought it was real nice. But the new one, How to Brew 2017, it's time to replace that old dog-eared copy of John Palmer's How to Brew. Or if you've never had a How to Brew, now's the time. Brewers Publications just published their 4th edition of How to Brew, and it's essentially a totally new book. The 4th edition clocks in at 600 pages, and every chapter has been updated and expanded. And there are 5 completely new chapters. Awesome. So whether you want simple, surefire instructions for making your first beer or you're a seasoned homebrewer working with all-grain batches, this book is something for you. From ingredients and methods to recipes and equipment for brewing beer at home, How to Brew is loaded with valuable information on brewing techniques and recipe formulation. So grab your copy either at your preferred book vendor, like More Beer, for example, or buy it from the Brewers Association store if you want. And you can get the book and support craft breweries at the same time. So more information is available at brewerspublications.com. You could probably also go to howtobrew.com and check it out. So, yeah, support John Palmer.
I prefer to buy from books from the guy selling them out of the trunk of his car with the covers torn out, the front covers torn out.
John Palmer.
From John Palmer himself, yeah.
Direct.
He's like, hey, guys, I'm just trying to make a little money on the side.
I just took the cover off.
Yeah.
It's legal.
I also iodized the oxide particles on my car. Do you like it?
Of course he did.
Thank you.
Palmer's still doing our show with Jamil Brew Strong, of course. So by supporting him, you're supporting us. You should go check it out.
I wish it was called Brew Strong, of course.
Brew Strong, of course.
that is a great name. Love both those guys.
All right. Well, normally in this part of the program, we start to wind down with our own bullshit. But
That's right.
instead, we wanted to stay with our guest tonight, Figueroa Mountain Brewing.
With their bullshit.
With their bullshit.
And we bring a lot of that as well.
Because the beer's just so damn good. So we thought we would start this segment with the Mosaic Pale Ale. Is that the name of the beer? Mosaic Pale Ale?
So we call this Figueroa Mountain Mosaic.
Okay.
This is a namesake after the mountain, Figueroa Mountain. It's beautiful. It's honestly, I came from Baltimore, Maryland, and I never knew coming out to what I called at the time Buellton, California.
Buellton,
Buellton.
Yeah.
You know, it was Buellton. You know,
Cute.
Damn it. Yeah. So I missed that. I got made fun of a lot, which was great. But I did actually
Figueroa?
find. But I did find Figueroa.
Yeah, good for you.
I did find Figueroa Mountain, and it. Honestly, around us, Figueroa Mountain is it's this idyllic, beautiful scenery. It's worshipped. You know, it turns into this place where you forget about all your problems. You go up there, you cook out, you camp, you have a really good time. And that suddenly it translated very well to me. I understood very much more about Buellton, let alone Figueroa Mountain itself and what we were all about. So I make a pilgrimage every year and make sure we get up there. So it's beautiful.
Excellent.
Great.
I bring my problems wherever I go, so you're doing well.
You can always douse one out with a Figueroa Mountain Mosaic.
Excellent. So this beer's been around for a little while. This
is one of those beerdy that kind of developed in our pubs. So this was an idea that started as, you know what, let's kind of take this idea of a American strong pale ale and kind of turn it this other direction, and what hops can we use in it, and it kind of went through a couple iterations, and then suddenly it turned into, you know what, let's just make it an American pale ale. Let's keep it right in that low 5%, and suddenly Mosaic was exploding at the time. This was about a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And we had a sizable Mosaic contract, and we were like, you know what, we're not really dumping it in anything right now. Let's make this badass pale ale with it. And suddenly we paired that up with Amarillo. Amarillo turned into this combination of Amarillo and El Dorado, only comprising about 10%. The rest is Mosaic.
Okay.
So very Mosaic forward, but Mosaic plays really well with other hops.
Yeah.
So we created this beer that, honestly, Dre, correct me if I'm wrong, but most of us just slam this thing.
Oh, yeah. Talk about a slammer.
Yeah.
This is my third or fourth tonight. I started with this before the show and have stuck with it. It's a really nice beer.
Thank you so much.
3 of my favorite hops.
Mosaic sometimes can be a little too earthy for me, and also this is a weird flavor descriptor, but crayons. I have had some
waxy,
tastes like crayons.
Like musty crayon,
grassy, really green.
Yeah. And those
like
color,
a green crayon.
In the 100 pack, the whole array.
Like
of
you
green
open
colors.
the 100 pack and that aroma I've had some 100% Mosaic beers like. So I don't know if it's that the crop itself has adjusted or grown, changed, or that you've mixed the hops.
So what I'd say about any hop and about any beer that you're ever going to create is it needs to be an approach to absolute quality. So I think if we're finding the freshest hops we can at the peak of their existence, that's what we're looking for. So we're using great hops from a couple different farmers, and I don't want to get into that too much because
but you don't always get the best. Right?
Yeah.
Have you ever had to open a box and send it back and say, guys, you didn't actually send us your best?
Every once in a while something like that happens, but the volume of hops we're going through is a lot. So it's rare with the people we buy hops from. They are consistent, they're excellent. A hop like Mosaic this last crop year is just out of control. That's why the majority of these excellent IPAs we're all seeing out there right now, they're pretty much they're Mosaic heavy at this time.
Mm-hmm.
They're Mosaic and they're Citra heavy. I mean, those are the kind of dominant IPA and pale ale hops at this time. And we wanted to, make sure we showcase that. So that's kind of where Fig Mountain Mosaic came out of, was our love for the mountain and our love for this hop Mosaic. And we wanted to translate that through a drinkable, sessionable pale ale.
Pretty simple malt bill on this too.
Actually, it's fairly complex. It's and that's not our style, which is so funny.
Yeah.
Our approach is just this, simplicity plus excellence. That we always look at like how to make this simple and how to make this just turn into a great beer. Mosaic actually has like five grains in it.
Interesting.
And the approach is like it's 2-row for the most part, and then we have a little bit of torrefied wheat, for head retention. We've got a little bit of caramel malt in there. And then we have some flake barley for a little texture, Okay. And there's a secret ingredient I can't really say.
Why is it secret? Just out of curiosity.
It's ultimately just kind of a tool I've been carrying for a while, and it's something we throw into a couple beers here and there. And
is it a grain?
It is. It's a grain.
Wait, it's corn.
Corn. Yeah, you guys taste the corn?
Yeah. It's beard hair.
Yeah, it's in there. It's it's not corn though, but
and it's just a small.
It's just
addition.
like I always I talk to a lot of friends and a lot of peers of mine, and a lot of us we either go this ridiculously like hard to the right scientific route, and we lose sleep over beer, and how do we figure out how to do this perfectly, and then there's this other approach that's like I'm grandma in the kitchen, and I love to approach it that way from a beer standpoint, where it's really fun to play around with ingredients and a pinch of this, a pinch of that,
Yeah.
but then it turns into this refined being, and suddenly you're like, holy shit, like that worked so well. Now I have to explain to my entire team why we just threw a bay leaf in it, and that's so to speak. So that's that happens in beers from time to time. So that's again why you can't just tell somebody no all the time, unless they're wrong.
Yeah.
Like
JP.
Yeah,
right.
like JP's wrong, and and then you I'm sorry, JP, but a bay leaf was too much.
Yeah. Well, I think this lager tastes very good.
We're all sorry.
We're all wrong from time to time.
Most of us.
Yeah. I want this to be cloudy. Wrong. Wrong.
Yeah.
You know what? That's another conversation entirely. Is this approach to unfiltered beer? There's I've been kind of vocal on my social media a little bit from time to time about this haze craze and this and that. It's not that I don't like the hazy beers. It's that I want people who are just enjoying a beer for the first time to understand that there's other pale ales and IPAs.
Right.
And this is not the style. This is not what it's introduced as. Haze is okay. It's totally fine. And whatever you want to brew, that's great. Like whatever people are buying, that's the best.
Yeah.
And as long as people are enjoying what you're doing, you should be really proud. So that's I want to make that very clear.
Sure.
We produce really clean, high-quality beers. We do a lot of unfiltered IPAs in our tap room. Come out and visit us. We have a lot of fun doing that. But
there you go. Yeah.
This one's not one of them.
Well, this one is so my favorite style is a pale ale, and I require our staff to keep a great pale ale on tap for me at all times. But I've been gone a lot recently, so they have failed at their. I came in the other day, and they know as soon as I walk in, all I want. In fact, they make fun of me. We have so many great beers on tap, and I always just order the pale ale. Well,
excellent.
There
was
a pale ale on tap, and it was okay. We don't serve bad beer. It was just okay.
Not.
But they know that there's a level. There's some standards that we should keep on.
Sure.
If I'm going to come order a fucking beer,
right.
and we didn't have it.
Yeah.
Long story short, I'm so glad this beer is on tap.
Thank you.
And it's why I ordered it first tonight and have had. I've just stuck with it because it's a great pale ale. So thank you for making it.
And thank you for enjoying it. Again, back to people enjoying beer.
You guys are cute together.
Well, but
do you want
also,
to pound this beer or crush it?
I feel like
I want to drip it. I want to take an eyedropper.
No, this one I've just been
slamming.
Sessioning?
Don't
How do you
even.
say
How do you session 4 beers?
What if you're neither? Because it's been about 5 hours.
Okay.
I'd like to beard bong it. Beard bong if possible. Yeah, if possible.
We can make that happen, I guess.
I guess. Yeah. It is in his pay grade.
It might make your beard healthier. I mean, it's pretty healthy, I think. But
it's not very absorbent, though.
Is it?
Yeah, it might mostly end up just on my shirt, not in your mouth.
Then you have to take your shirt off. And
Well,
that would
then
suck.
we'll wring the shirt out.
We don't care.
Oh.
It's your shirt.
Yeah, that's true.
No, we all have to take turns wearing it afterwards.
It's my mouth
Very
and
uncomfortable.
All right, what is the next beer in our glass? We do have to get through these. We're going to start to
What
wrap
is it?
things up. So,
Hoppy Puppy?
Yeah, this is our Hoppy Poppy. This is our ode to American style West Coast IPAs.
Okay.
So, being an East Coast brewer too is super cool. Coming out west and suddenly being like, holy shit, hop assault. It's like, wow, my palate is being just crushed by hops.
I think I have the Mosaic still, and I just had it in 2 glasses.
Yeah, I was like, well, how did you get the bottle that
Because I had
the...
it here.
Sorry.
I'm just going to mix that.
So Hoppy Poppy's whole approach is like,
No, it's coming around.
There it is.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hoppy Poppy is more this traditional approach to West Coast style IPAs that I've always felt more identified with, the region we're in now. Kind of like the Bay Area, even north of the Bay. It's got a little more malt characteristics to it. It's sea hop forward, so we're talking Columbus, Cascade. It's got a little Centennial, a very small amount of Simcoe as well, but ultimately a balanced IPA. We never wanted to blow people away with this beer. We wanted to create a beer that was drinkable every day and paired really well with food. And this is kind of our approach with this beer. 6.5%, very drinkable in our eyes.
This beer is less bitter than the Pale Ale.
You think so?
To me, absolutely.
It's less dry.
Absolutely.
Less dry, yeah.
It's less dry.
It's more crystal malt.
Yep,
sweeter.
It's got some malt sweetness, and it's less dry.
Yeah.
Which does what?
Hides the bitterness.
Yeah.
So this beer is less bitter than the other one.
No.
I'm not wrong.
No, you are.
I guess then we'd have to say something like less perceived bitterness.
Exactly.
Sure.
Okay,
If
fine.
your IBUs or whatever bullshit is higher.
Sure. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Fucking Warren.
I know. He'll get you every time.
Yeah.
Well, technically, you're not. Technically, you're not on fire. Your clothes are on fire.
I'm perceiving you being wrong.
I'm definitely perceiving you as being wrong.
And that's okay.
No, I would agree wholeheartedly here. I think Mosaic, especially the hop Mosaic, I think coming out on that pale ale, it's like, it's extremely fragrant. It's flavorful. It's dry. It's got all the things that we almost call this beer, Mosaic. We call that beer like a IPA in a pale ale body. That's kind of our nickname for it. It's got a lot of hop character. But when we talk about, IPA used to be like this. That's kind of our thing with Hoppy Poppy is now we're looking at, the nuclear hops arms race, whatever you want to call it, and we're really getting out there and we're throwing tons of hops at beer and we're going beyond 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pounds per barrel and we're really just ripping it.
Yeah.
And some of them are really bitter, some of them are really dry, some of them have lactose, and some of them are cloudy, and you never know.
Sure.
So it's more of our homage, and this is always going to be our flagship product.
With those awesome sea hops in there, why did you also put in Simcoe? I'm curious.
Simcoe is this. It's. I'm going to be honest. It's my favorite hop.
Okay.
So, Simcoe's my favorite American hop varietal. I'm going to make that very clear. It's this amazing hop that I learned at Heavy Seas that just has this amazing potential to create grapefruit, pine, citrus, like all in one hop, and it's not overwhelming. And it has great bitterness qualities. It has great aromatic qualities. It kind of, just covers a lot of ground.
What do you think? This is for my sake, because I always I can't pick apart hops in a beer, especially when there's multiple. I know when it's a sea hop beer,
sure,
because there are some of my favorites, right? But I can't pick out which is what. So to help me, what would I be missing from this beer if you had not included the Simcoe?
I think what Simcoe does really well is kind of bridges the gap between sea hops and other hops, like let's say Citra or Mosaic. It creates more of a neutral kind of fruit or neutral kind of pine citrus platform where a lot of sea hops, not necessarily Cascade. Cascade's fairly delicate in comparison to a lot of other ones, but when you're talking Columbus, resinous character. Resinous. Like it's got some really dank resinous qualities to it. Even Centennial last year, this last crop that came out, it's got some really, really nice citrus qualities. It even had some tropical elements to it.
Okay.
And honestly, it's got some woody character to it. What Simcoe does really well is just kind of marries things. I think in an American ale platform, I think it just really marries things well. It's got this, it's got, the bright citrus that you'd expect out of a sea hop, but it's got this kind of, just way of creating this pine and citrus balance It's really good at that, and subtle grapefruit qualities as well. So I think it's really good at almost standing into that. It just branches out from C hop territory for me without being as resinous. So
Got it.
That's kind of my take.
So
on
I'd be
it.
missing not only would I be missing a lot, but maybe some of those other hops would stand out too much that you didn't intend if it didn't sort of bring them together.
There's a fair amount of Columbus in this beer, and I think Columbus, like when you use it, it's awesome if you're looking for that. If you're looking for that resinous quality with a lot of the citrus and kind of just piney and dank and cat pissy even kind of characteristics to it.
It happens, yeah.
It sure does, and I think that when you kind of hold back a little of that, pair it up with a little bit of the C hop that are more tend to be more of the nature of the lighter citrus.
Yeah,
you got a great combo.
Right.
Yeah.
Andre, I keep waiting for you to just say he's full of shit.
I mean, I'd love to, but it's not true. So,
right.
Andre, I'll give you the $100 after this.
Yeah. I'd love to, but I'm high as hell.
But a hot dog is waiting as well.
Yeah, so
there's the hot dog palace. You can move up here. And
Wait a minute.
It's
What'd you
right
say
on the
about hot
corner.
dog palace?
There's a hot dog, and I have to be honest, I'm sort of craving a hot dog. I have been the whole show.
Who's the king?
Well, maybe I can go.
The hot dog palace.
Bevo actually is the king. She's not here
It's
tonight.
like, do we bend the knee to?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, if you're still in town, go to Casper's with a C.
Warren literally
Casper's
just
with a C.
Not with a K.
Okay.
With a
Is
C.
that a different Casper's?
It's a different Casper's. So Casper's, there was a Casper's company with a C, and it was like two cousins, and then one fucked off and opened Casper's with a K, and
I don't like
it's
that.
shittier. Casper's with a C. There's one in Pleasant Hill. Go there.
Okay.
Bevo used to work there as well.
Did she?
Yeah.
She was one of the old ladies behind the counter who are like 85 and shared Geritol
she is
tablets.
the hot dog queen. Yeah.
All right. Let's open the other one. Huh?
Well, and
Or
as you
not.
do that,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely. I think I'm agreeing with you, JP.
Shit. Hold on, everyone.
He's not sure.
No.
He's not sure.
Well, you'll tell him if he is.
Yeah.
In that I like the Hoppy Poppy even better than I like the Mosaic Pale Ale. And I really like the Mosaic Pale Ale. And maybe it's because of that less, just a slightly less bitter flavor. Because what I like about a good Pale Ale is just a little bit of sweetness, some dryness, and a pretty decent amount of hop flavor, but not bitter.
Correct.
I like American Pale Ale.
Yes, you do.
And I think I like the Hoppy Poppy better.
For that reason, yeah.
Yeah, I think for those reasons. It sort of fits that bill for me. Even it's clearly an IPA. I'm not saying it's a pale ale.
Right.
I'm enjoying it more.
I wouldn't disagree any which way here, because what I would say is that Hoppy Poppy kind of bridges that gap. In my head, it's always been an American strong pale. I think it's always been that tweener between pale ale, traditional style American pale ale, and a traditional style American IPA West Coast.
Yeah.
And I think it's just we cook a shit ton of tri-tip by us. Are you familiar with tri-tip?
Oh yeah, sure. We're American.
Hell yeah.
What the fuck kind of question is that?
We're talking hot sauce.
Tri-tip is a regional cut.
It is. Hey, thank you.
Yes.
Thank
It
you.
is?
Okay.
And by the way,
what region are we in, idiot?
It's not an American
I hope
region.
are you calling Beardy an idiot? Or, okay,
We're calling Beardy an idiot.
No, but let me call myself the idiot for 5 seconds.
Okay.
Because
it's much more fun if we just do it to him. But I forget you aren't from around these parts.
coming from
that's right. Okay.
Coming from the East Coast and coming from Baltimore, suddenly I'm like, what the fuck is that? Literally, I'm like, what the fuck is that? And we're in tri-tip town, straight up.
Right.
Like that's like people are like, what are you doing today? It's like, well, I'm working all day. It's like, nah, fuck that. We're gonna make tri-tips, and you're like, what the hell is that? And then suddenly you cook 32 tri-tips, and you have no idea what happened. You drank 42 Hoppy Poppies.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
I did not realize that was a regional thing.
Oh, I didn't know either because I had no idea.
What do they call it out there?
Trust me, I went to my butcher that I lived like a block and a half from in Baltimore City, and I walked over to him. I was like, "Hey, man, what the hell's up with tri-tip? Like, why didn't you tell me this? Why didn't you ever saw me a tri-tip?" And the guy looks at me. He's like, "That's what I take, man. That's what I take home." And I was like, well, "What the fuck?" You never.
Oh, interesting.
That's what he wanted.
Yeah, and I'm the idiot.
Yeah.
Well,
so they didn't sell it. They didn't sell it.
Yeah.
Wait, that was really the explanation? That's
what I
know
take home.
of tri-tip, but they just take it home after they cut the rest?
People would rather have skirt steak or flank or whatever else where I'm from.
Interesting.
Nobody knows about that.
And in the Midwest, they just don't cut it that way.
Wow.
And they don't end up having it.
Made me
It gets-
sick.
It's a waste.
Yeah.
Made
I
me
was
sick. It made me sick.
All those years.
Yeah, made me sick.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, Tri-Tip's Tri-Tip's back.
Yeah.
There we go.
It's back.
That's a good beer name.
Yeah.
Actually, a terrible beer name.
The tip is
Smoked
back.
beer. Or like,
The tip's back.
Just the tip.
Just the tip is back.
Now that's a good name that you will not be allowed
Smoky
to
tip.
submit to the GABF.
Yeah. That might be a little sexy.
You could still win an award.
That's true.
But you could win an award with any name. But they would just call it Figueroa Mountains Smoke Beer.
Yeah. Super inappropriate beer name.
Or just call it that.
That'd be a good beer name, too.
Best in show.
And you couldn't actually advertise it, right?
What do you mean?
You couldn't
that's what they're saying.
Yeah, you couldn't say, "Hey, we won a gold medal with this beer."
Well, no, you can say
you
that.
could, but you could only say like, our smoke beer won. You couldn't say like just the tip crushed it this year. The most slammable product of all time, gold medal.
we slammed it with just the tip in the Munich Dunkel.
Slammed the tip in.
In the smoked lager category.
Will you make a beer just for my taproom named all the things that you... It's all in one.
It's a paragraph.
Yes.
It should be the same beer, but with every keg it changes the name.
Ooh, there you go.
A
the whole
revolving
thing.
series.
Yes, but the same beer because
of offensive names.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
What happens? I know we've talked about this, but what happens on the screen and at the announcement at the GABF if the name is inappropriate? Do they just say like blank beer won?
I don't know. I don't think it's been. I don't think it's happened yet.
No,
it hasn't happened yet. I'm curious if they wrote.
They might just say Figueroa Mountain.
So I've spoken with some representatives at the BA, and basically their approach to it is that they will not announce the name.
Okay, but
what they will say. They will say that Brewery X style beer.
Got it. Okay, that's what I was curious about. So that's good. You still get announced.
You can't lose a great beer, And I'm not defending anybody that's producing a name that is not right.
Nor are we.
But
I'm curious about the entire situation.
I want to be clear. I am.
Yeah.
All of the names.
Right. Every name should have a story and have something behind it. I'm all about that. It's if somebody was to tell me that I dunkled in my pants was just too aggressive or too whatever, I'd be like, you know what, like why?
Well,
everybody
I'm glad that
we've
was
talked
your
about
answer.
this. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say I would then question the name, and I'd be like,
no,
really? Because that's
not
so,
at all.
That's so benign.
No, we will stand behind that name until the day we die.
But also, dunkel is not really a
thing. What does that mean?
It could be peeing.
Oh no! It could be
sharp.
It could be you poured a dunkel on your pants.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
I lagered my pants.
And that's where the name came from.
Dancing in your pants. Anything.
Right.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad that was your response to that.
No, absolutely not. We will not stand down on a name like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, real quick, craftbeer.com Brewery Finder. There are more than 5,000 breweries in the U.S., and craftbeer.com Brewery Finder, published by the Brewers Association, as a matter of fact, has them all. It's the most robust U.S. brewery finder. Whether you're traveling or exploring your own city, you can find breweries by current location or search in other states. You'll find directions and contact info straight from the Brewery Finder, and you'll also find breweries' social handles on the Brewery Finder. So you can keep up on the latest news from your favorite breweries, like Figueroa, for example. Go to craftbeer.com and check out the Brewery Finder. There's also, by the way, the beer and food course, which is free, and a recipes and pairing section, plus all the current news on craft beer in America. So go to craftbeer.com and check it out. All right, guys, we are wrapping up here. Do you want to try one more?
We have the double going, right?
Imperial IPA.
Imperial, yeah.
The double. How pleased are you with the double, JP?
That's why I only poured a little bit.
Not the IPA.
Just enough to taste it.
Does this taste less bitter?
I haven't tasted it yet, asshole.
Is there corn in it?
I don't know either.
I was setting up the question while you were drinking.
Beardy, will you pour me some too, please?
We got to work on your setup then, if that was you setting up a question.
Have you drank it yet, or are you still talking?
You screamed at me.
In the meantime, you can go to figmountainbrew.com. That's FIGMTNbrew.com and check it out. They got a list of their beers on there. You can check out all the tap rooms. Their story is on there. There's a mug club. There's a blog. There's a photo gallery. So you can...
You can't drink there
You can't. You
In the
cannot
photo
drink
gallery?
On the website.
It's the only thing you can't do. So just
Unless
look up
you
the
have one.
locations and then go check it out. 6 of them across the state of California, and then also distributed a little bit into Arizona, southern Arizona. It sounded like,
for the most part.
And then soon to be Colorado because I asked for it. I'm just putting that out there now. Go check them out at Figueroa. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, the pale ale is more bitter. Okay, is that what you wanted to hear?
You're still wrong.
We've all had the Imperial IPA now?
Yep.
You're not saying that the pale ale is... I haven't tasted it yet, either. But you're saying the pale ale is more bitter than the Imperial IPA?
To me, yeah.
The more perceived bitter.
Yeah, but it's because of the sweetness.
I did not find the pale ale that bitter.
Well, I don't really drink those beers, so I guess to me it's a shock.
Yeah, to the system.
Yeah.
Systematic shock.
System of a down.
Oh, I think this one is well more bitter.
Really?
Than the Mosaic. Yeah. What do you think, Beardy?
Yes, I think we've been getting progressively more bitter.
So you thought the Hoppy Poppy was also more bitter?
Yes.
Tasting. Yeah.
Right. They're using... Well, in Hoppy Poppy, they had some crystal malt in there or something to add some color and malt backbone.
Don't never assume that.
Well, they said it also.
Yeah, Beardy's dead on this one. Yeah. We did say that.
Yeah. Damn it. I mean, he might have to shut up, but he does listen. You got to give him that. The kid listens.
Even if I don't shut up.
That's right.
But yeah, I this is definitely... I think the malt bill, at least in terms of the crystal character and everything, is less on this one.
Yeah.
But it still is on the more balanced between... It's not... To me, these aren't West Coast stereotypical IPA and double IPA.
Okay.
They're not just dry as a desert and just super bitter. Yeah, they're more of the balance between residual sugar and bitterness. It's
pronounced dessert,
I agree
by the way.
entirely. That's our approach.
Yeah,
our
great.
approach is to create the most balanced beers, and again, that's why we have multiple locations to create these one-off products where we can have fun and play around with bitterness and general sweetness qualities that are residual and kind of move in that direction. This beer is designed to be, this is Lizard's Mouth, our Imperial IPA. It is designed to be a very approachable Imperial IPA at 9%. It is all two-row.
Yeah.
It is all two-row, though, so you're dead on. I mean, it does not have any crystal qualities to it. It is fairly dry for the style, believe it or not, like on paper.
Sure.
But the bitterness is only around 75 IBU. So all said and done, I mean, it's not an overwhelmingly bitter experience.
It's not. And the alcohol sweetness comes through a little bit.
Yep.
Not just a malt
texturally
sweetness.
as well.
Yeah.
Do you use much dextrose or adjunct
There's a
sugars?
small amount of cane sugar.
And so I think, just guessing, I think what helps with muting some of the bitterness in this is cutting down the ratio of sugar to barley.
Agreed.
Because then you have a bigger mouthfeel in this beer compared to what stereotypical West Coast IPAs.
So
they
if
just
the
add sugar to get the alcohol to climb up.
Obviously.
And then you have...
Clearly.
But then
Do you
the
perceive
balance-
that in a lot of double IPAs that you drink, JB?
Yeah, every day.
I like to get warned to this point because he just yells a little bit more, and that means he's upset.
Well, but he's also clearly him and Kevin have docked or something.
Yeah.
This was good.
They've refueled in another one.
This was good. Although you are a little more red than I am.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that means.
Well, I
No,
do.
You'll get used to it. It's fun.
So you're saying if
Feels
there's
good either way.
a higher volume of the sugar, just plain sugar, that the balance goes away? What are you saying?
You would perceive more bitterness.
I see.
And so because he's using a lot more barley to get the alcohol to 9%.
I understand.
That's where it's more of a perceived balance.
It's more
than just
grain.
a dry.
It's more grain forward than sugar forward.
But not caramely.
Yes.
And that's how it's so pale.
Yeah.
And our approach again with this beer is that we're trying to drive that alcohol up, but we want it to be a certain amount of residual sugar so that it doesn't seem overwhelmingly alcoholic, where you get these fusel alcohols, we call them, where it's just
which
hot.
it does not have.
Thank you. So it's not hot for 9%. but it does have enough bitterness where it's not overwhelmingly. This is a great intro to double IPA, intro to Imperial IPA for a lot of people that are trying to take that next step from a beer, whether it is Fig Mountain Mosaic or Hoppy Puppy. From a beer like that is in that realm. We want them to be able to hop up, but we don't want them to have to experience the extreme dryness or the bitterness of that. So
I agree. I think you nailed it.
Thank you.
It is a good gateway Imperial, and by eliminating the hot fusels, I think that was that's perfect.
That's our goal.
Instead, like I said, it comes out with just a little bit of sweetness, which lends itself to the beer instead.
I think it invites another sip.
Yeah. Well, I've liked all of these beers, possibly a little too much. I'm ready for more.
It's a good thing you have a self-driving car.
Yeah, I'm not dry. Yeah, exactly. I'm just going to hit the button and it'll
Go
take
to
me
sleep.
home. Yeah.
Just start puking.
Is the show sponsored by Tesla? Is that?
Fuck, I wish.
Oh,
can we?
We gotta work on that.
We really do.
We gotta work
I'll call
on
Elon tomorrow.
Yeah.
My car will self-park. It won't self-drive, which is cool because I can start driving, and then if I realize I'm in trouble, I just hit the park button.
Oh shit!
Wait,
pull over?
You can be going down the road and hit the park. Oh no!
How cool would that be?
You just park and
It's almost like an ejector button.
Right, exactly. I need out.
It ejects you from the public.
Right.
You just hit the park button. It finds the nearest. No, it'll just parallel. No, it's not that good.
Parallel park in the middle of the highway.
Yeah, which is perfect.
Oh, my
I'll
God.
never get caught. Don't worry, I never drive home after these shows, except when I do. But then it's because we didn't have a lot of amazing beer on the program.
That's right.
So, well, gentlemen, I got to wrap us up. I want to thank you so much for being here, though.
We can't thank you enough
The
for having
beer
us.
was so good. By the way, my staff here are really big fans of yours, and I'm not sure if that's how we ended up booking you too. But we often listen to our staff because they're in the pulse.
Sure,
they've loved you guys since we opened. So thank you for sending us beer and for bringing us
Thank
beer
you.
and for being on the show.
It's our pleasure.
I'm still disappointed that I'm hungry. And I
Me
didn't-
too, dude. Where are the hot dogs?
Wait, Dre's slanging them out back. Well,
yeah.
we've had a hot dog going the entire time. It's one big dog. It's one big dog. It's a slow roasted dog.
I would share a dog with you guys.
It's that 75-minute boil of the dog, you know?
Right.
Yeah, we're talking
Yeah,
a
we
long
do
dog.
that.
Long dog here. Yeah.
But in all seriousness, Dre, I'm glad you've moved on from hot dogs and now that you're brewing, and I wish you
Attaboy,
luck.
Dre.
Thanks for the great beer that you're making.
Thank you very much.
Kevin, you as well.
Thanks for having
Thank
me.
you, guys.
Once again, folks, you can go to figmountainbrew.com, figmtnbrew.com, and check it all out. You got to click that you're 21, which, of course, you are, right? And then you can learn all about the beer, events, you name it. Go check it out. You can find out where you can pick it up. And I say come have it here at the Hop Grenade.
Yeah,
Because,
that's a great place to come.
It is.
Can I give a shout out to our Valley Brewers?
Oh, yeah. The Valley Brewers in Buellton?
Yes.
Homebrew Club?
Yes. They are amazing. Unbelievable. We have another great homebrew club called the Santa Barbarians.
Nice.
We've got some excellent homebrewers in our town, and we cover a lot of range, and we want to make sure that we're representing as well.
Shout out to the Valley Brewers. Thanks for
That's
tuning
right.
in if you are, and maybe we'll see you at the Firestone event that we go down to, or
Yeah, awesome.
next time we're on the Central Coast. I know JP gets out a lot.
I get out a lot. I have friends in Buellton, as a matter of fact.
Is that right?
I do. I
Like
never see them because it's too far away for me to go.
Not Wilton?
It's not
We're going to
Buellton.
have the first annual Buellton hot dog roast coming up next year.
I'll be running it?
Yes!
Wow.
Dre, I am there to support you.
Dre's pulling his own dogs out this time.
We will be there.
Yeah. Bring your own buns.
Is that a euphemism for masturbating?
Yeah.
He's pulling his own dog?
Yeah, maybe some free pea soup. We never
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, we
Split pea. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
couldn't even say it.
Pea Soup Anderson. You got to go.
No, they're hot dog Andersons now. Yeah.
Split hot dog Andersons.
Split dogs.
You watch out. Dre's going to leave you. And
I
he's
know,
gonna
man. I'm
open
worried about
a
that.
brewery.
Some angel investors listening to this right now and going, I was going to invest in the Brewing Network, but Dre's roving hot dog cart.
Exactly. And brewery.
And brewery.
It's going to be called, what's up, dog?
Yeah.
They already have those.
Yeah.
Dre's dog.
Dre's dog.
Yeah.
Dre's dog.
Dre dog.
Dre dog.
He'll be brewing on a Pico brew,
Yeah.
pushing the cart around, ringing the bell.
Dogs and brews. You can't go wrong.
Can you guys record his album?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. All right, you can have all these ideas, Dre.
Thank you, appreciate it.
I mean, you can go wrong with a hot dog company if your employees go to the alt-right.
Oh, yikes.
Fucking
Yikes.
Did you hear about that guy?
No.
The guy from, in Berkeley, there's Top Dog, which is like considered, it's a cool...
It's a hot dog place?
So that's a hot dog place.
Okay.
Yeah, where like all the college kids go after concerts and all that kind of stuff. And it's one of the employees there. Lovingly, in the news articles I read, they all called him a chef and a cook. He fucking cooks hot dog. No offense. He fucking cooks hot dog. They don't call him a chef.
He's a dog. He's a dog man.
Cook, yeah.
He's a dog man.
But one of his employees was like outed at that Charlottesville march.
Okay.
And he got fired.
I went to school. I went to school about 30 minutes from there.
Really?
Yeah. It's I went to school at James Madison University, and I went to Charlottesville many times, and I just can't even believe that's happening.
Really?
Yeah.
You mean it didn't seem like something like that could happen?
Never.
Okay.
No, we're talking about
that a hot dog cook from Berkeley would go there.
No, yeah, that's what I'm most shocked about.
He could afford to go there. Yeah. How did he afford to go?
Yeah, that's a long way from Berkeley.
Making $25 fucking cooking hot dogs?
Sorry, hot dog chef.
Well, yeah, the chef though. He went to school
True,
for
he
it.
does have the title.
Sure.
He has like the black coat on.
Yeah, you pay more for that dog.
Oh my
God. Should. Well, this is made by Andrews, so we have to charge you 15% more.
No, I just want to defend Virginia. Nobody's like that there. It ain't right.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
Every place seems to have weird shit happening right now.
Up.
Everyone in Virginia is probably going, how white is this guy? Because I need to know.
But they're also like, I could eat a hot dog.
Sticking up for us until I know.
Where's his genetic testing? Get him on.
Send it to White Lab.
Well, we should have
they
Chris
might be
White
biased.
change the name.
They
of
might
that
be
one.
biased. Yeah.
Big GT day.
Right.
Do they test hot dogs? I'm going to call Chris White.
Chris White likes himself some junk food, so they probably will test some hot dogs.
He's a dog man.
Mike White will only like it if there's chili on it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was way above Dre's pay grade.
Chili? No.
Ain't no chili.
Maybe a little mustard, mayo. That's about it.
Sure.
Some ketchup on the really.
We tried to make it a tamale cart, actually. This is no joke.
Really?
Yeah, we actually tried to make it a tamale cart.
I was actually boiling or steaming tamales with
This
Bach.
is real.
Oh, really?
With our beer.
With our Sisquock Bach.
How'd that work?
Did it taste
It turned out pretty well, but people weren't.
Sounds like it tastes like shit.
White people hated tamales.
There you go.
Really?
Oh, wait a second.
No. I love them.
Me too.
And you
so
do.
do I.
Yeah.
So
You didn't
tamales are
speak up
great.
yet. But
No, I love tamales, but then your statement is false.
What? Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. Did they not like the beer steamed tamales, or you're just saying they were like, what the fuck is a tamale?
I think we're in a different region.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
I've eaten
It's
tamales
regional.
out of a trunk.
Yeah.
That's
No,
how much
I've
of a
eaten
fan.
them two hours inland from. This is a real story. From Cancun, like in a warm Tupperware container, and a woman was like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Yes."
Yeah.
And I ate them.
The woman offering them to you was
Yes.
like, "Are you sure
yes.
you want to eat
Yes.
this?"
That's right. She was like, "Are you sure?"
Okay,
and
I
I was
might
like,
have stopped
yes.
there.
And I ate
Yeah.
it.
I don't know if I would proceed.
Argument one, I think. Yeah.
Wow.
They have
Put the mics away.
They have the tamale lady in San Francisco, this lady who basically does that. Tamales are garbage. They're very small, and they're like $4.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's a San Francisco tamale.
Oh, yeah.
This
for sure.
only cost me $1.
Tamale is the Mexican euro.
Shenanigans.
It's basically the same thing.
Yeah. Can you break a 20? A 21. 20 tamales. I need 2 big ones and 4 smaller ones.
Yeah. No, that is a San Francisco tamale. for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, you got ripped.
Yeah, well, she's got rent.
She has that down payment on the Tesla.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, real quick.
All right.
If you're looking to brew your own beer, you should download the Beersmith brewing software. It's the best software out there. Plus, you get a free 21-day trial. You can go to beersmith.com and check it out. It works on a PC. It works on Mac. And Brad over there keeps it all up to date for you. It's the only up-to-date homebrew software that you can get. And we know a whole bunch of pro brewers that use it, too. So go to beersmith.com. I guarantee you it does everything you need it to do. But I can give you that guarantee because it's a free 21-day trial. So go check it out at beersmith.com. And then also our good friends, actually they're not our friends, but they sell cool things over at Adam and Eve. You can go to adamandeve.com.
I wish we were friends with them.
Yeah, I have no idea who those people are.
Is that part of the hot dog cart?
Yeah.
It's a different hot dog cart.
They have a whole hot dog cart line.
They sling wieners over there. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's right. Go to adamandeve.com, use coupon code BNARMY, BNARMY, and you're going to get free shipping and like 50% off an item and some free DVDs and all the fun that you can imagine. Plus, you don't have to go stand at that creepy store in the corner where you like run into your neighbor.
What's the code
like,
again? What's the code? Can you say it one more time?
BNARMY, BNARMY.
Perfect, got it.
That's
But
right.
Army.
It'll get you a whole bunch of stuff, and like I said, your neighbor won't be like, "Oh, you like butt plugs too." You can.
Hey, I'll go in halvesies with you on that.
Yeah, exactly. I heard if we buy one, get one. Yeah.
Hey, can I get a cup of sugar and borrow your butt plug?
Exactly. So do it online at Adam and Eve.
They have a hot dog line.
Yeah, they do. Next week on the program, the 21st Amendment. Our good friend Sully will be on the show, and boy, do I miss Sully, and I'm going to miss him next week too because I won't be here.
You should come back for it.
Can you imagine what I will look like in the middle?
Where are you going?
I'm going to Burning Man. So I'll be it'll be like at the tail end of that.
What's your bargaining chip there?
Yeah.
Don't you need like a
Where's at the
tool?
beginning?
Monday's day 2.
No, day 2 still doesn't matter.
You'll be at the tail end.
I will be at the tail end by day 2. No, I need a good vacation, and I'm going to go do that and bury my head in the sand. Bury my head in the sand.
Yeah, white sands of the playa.
So, but join JP and JP with Sully next week on the show.
Pretty much.
Tasty will be here, too.
It'll be a 4-minute show.
Yeah. You want to do our Twitter game results?
I do.
What was our question again?
How can we console Beverly?
That's right.
For the death of her mother.
In her time of need. Okay. What did the creeps come up with?
Paul Epic says there's nothing you can do. She's already dead. Because of the way I phrased it.
I like this one.
Ben's mom died. How can you console her?
Yeah, right.
I like this. Just so you all know, this is how we deal with death on the program. Yeah. So just bear with us. Okay.
Alex B says, I'd take her to WrestleMania, buy her a foam cowboy hat, and a bag of cotton candy.
Okay.
That's consoled.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Rich S says, have Sugar Valley Brewer play at the funeral with Disney-themed strippers.
Oh, man.
Okay, I might vote for that one.
Yeah.
Austin says, sorry to hear the bad news, Bevo. I would wish that Sam is consoling her with wise words more than this stupid game.
That's
fuck that guy.
Yeah.
First of all,
when I first read it, it sounded funnier. But
is that one tweet? I think it's kind of long.
Yeah, it's convoluted. Jonathan Ross.
That sounded to me like more than 140 characters.
I was going to say, is that longer than the allotment?
Yeah, don't worry, Warren. If it was longer, it wouldn't have happened.
It's a good point. Thank you.
Yeah, it has its own checks and balances within the system.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing.
Take your technicality and shove it up your beard.
Did anybody like the tweet?
No.
Okay.
But you made us like you less.
Well, I'm good at that.
Is that possible?
With your commentary.
Jonathan Ross says, canned wine and a vacation to a double-wide community.
Okay, that's very Bevo.
That's very nice, too. Right?
Yeah.
Tim Conlon, this is the last one. Tim Conlon says, have the streets all the double wides are on renamed in her honor.
Oh, that's sweet. That's thoughtful.
So go to a double wide community, and every street is apparently named Bevo's mom.
Yeah. Okay, all right.
Bevo's Mom Drive.
Is that
Bevo's
it?
Bevo's Mom Way. That's it. That was it, baby.
Well, I'm torn between there's nothing to do, she's already dead.
Yeah, that one was really good.
Which is very, stark.
Yes. Yes.
Winter came.
And then the very... Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And then the very opposite, which is very thoughtful, knowing Bevo that all streets full of double wides would be named after her mother.
But is that her mom's dream or Bevo's dream?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
There's no way to find out now, so let's just go forward with the aesthetic of it all.
And it would console Bevo because her mom's dead.
And she would eventually be living on one of those streets.
She can't be consoled.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wow. You really got to break it. You need to talk with Warren like it's an IKEA directions, where it's just pictures of how he should look.
Yeah, it's like a guy with the wiener and the hot
the
dogs.
thing is like, oh, I get it now.
Dre's into it. Yeah, he's
I'll draw it up.
I feel like Dre cooking wieners at the funeral would be a good way to control.
She does. I'm telling you.
In her favorite beer.
Can I tweet?
This girl loves wieners like you've never seen. I gotta tell you.
I don't think we have time for you to write a tweet right
Okay.
now.
It's 140 characters, right?
Yeah.
I might be able to squeeze it in.
I don't think so.
IKEA also made the furs for Game of Thrones. This is what I understand.
I just heard that as well.
You haven't heard this?
IKEA made the what?
The furs. So it was like a fur rug, and suddenly they're like, you know what? This is what we did. We cut out this little neck slip in it, and you dirty it up, and that's what they all wear. You know, you're wearing the black.
Really?
It's IKEA.
They're all wearing IKEA?
It's IKEA.
That's funny.
Wow.
It's IKEA.
Yeah.
Instead of being the black, you are the IKEA now.
Yeah, you wear the IKEA.
Take the IKEA.
Yeah, you don't take the black. You take the Hornsgården.
But it's actually a really fancy designer out of Sweden.
Okay.
Yeah.
As always, it's IKEA.
Right, yeah.
All right, I think I'd like to vote for name the streets, all the double wide streets after Bebo's mom. I think that's a nice, respectful tweet. What do you think?
Yeah?
Yeah? What do you
think
guys
that's very nice.
Everybody gets to vote.
You know,
yeah?
I think if you name something after somebody, that should always be a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's a way to live on.
It's true. Take the USS John McCain, for example.
There you go.
It ran into a merchant ship today.
That's right. It could have been Bodie McBoatface.
Yeah. Today.
It ran into Bodie McBoatface?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Because John McCain doesn't fuck around. Okay? He has no time for your shit.
Yeah.
He's going to run straight into you.
That's right.
Get out of my way. So
you didn't move,
right?
No,
and hopefully
it's his ocean.
My thought in the same vein would be that several double wides would eventually catch fire on the street, because that's what double wides do on Bevo Street.
So, but if they were going to catch on fire, that's just their fault anyway, and that you can't do anything about it.
No, and by the way, you don't try to put them out either, because what's the fucking point?
It's a double wide.
It's a double wide. It's basically origami for houses. It will just burst into.
I think they have like one little pocket on the end of a double wide that's literally like, if this catches on fire, get the fuck out.
Correct. That's where the propane tank is to run the double wide.
Poof into flames. Magic trick over.
Yeah. It's propane filled origami.
Propane propelled.
Or yes, yeah. Are we good with that, JP?
Yeah.
Are you happy with that?
I already tweeted out the winner.
Okay.
The best part is he has to email Beverly.
God.
To get his prize.
I won your dead mom game.
Yeah.
That's rough.
That's brutal.
Hey, but
it's very
all the streets are named after her mom.
Yeah. See, her streets don't have no name.
Cheers.
Yeah, she should feel warm.
Someone has to feel warm.
Oh, God. I knew it. I knew one of us was going to do that.
Yikes.
All right. I think my business is done over here. We will hand it over to JP. Once again, guys from Figueroa Mountain Brewing Company, thanks for being here. I appreciate it, all of you.
We can't thank you enough.
Thanks for the beer. Your show will be available for download probably tomorrow. I got to get it done before I leave for the desert. So everybody can listen and find out. Don't forget, listeners, to look for our sign-up sheet to win tickets to the California Craft Brewers Conference.
Yeah, that should be happening tomorrow.
So, okay, we'll put that up on our social media. If you're in California or able to travel in the beginning of September to California, then you should register to win. Otherwise, don't register to win. You're just going to be screwing over somebody else. We got a couple cool tickets to give away to the California Craft Beer Summit Beer Festival. So, are you guys going to be at the Beer Summit?
I unfortunately will not be there.
Okay. We'll be there. You're going to pour at the
We will
festival?
be there.
Awesome.
Big Mountain will be there.
Oh, such a good festival, too. So I'm glad you guys are going to be there. Okay. All right, Jip, you ready?
Sure, dude.
All right. Beardy and I will see you all in a couple of weeks. JP will see you next week. And thanks for listening. Later.
Thank you all.
Ciao.
Thank you to our show sponsor, More Beer. You can get absolutely everything you need to make great beer at home by going to morebeer.com. Figueroa Mountain Brewing came all the way up from somewhere south of Buelton, California, to talk about lagers made with actual lagering methods. Plus, they do like IPAs and shit. Hit them up at figmtnbrew.com, I believe. Merge your love of Disneyland with your lack of engaging podcasts. Go to earsuppodcast.com as JP, Terrence, Bevo, and Taryn talk about all things Disney. Get on Twitter for some good beer insight and homebrew info. Follow Nate Smith at Nathan Homebrew, Mike McDowell at Tasty McD. Warren is stuck over at Another Beardy, and the great Beverly is crushing or drinking cyberspace at Bevo1. But JP thinks Twitter is dead, and you should follow him on Instagram at Major Jip. Today's show is produced by Bevo, and your host has been Justin. Be sure to find the Brewing Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Justin's a nice guy, and when